Alright, hello you fine folks. Once again, this is Jericho, and we are playing through Baldur's Gate 1, sort of to try to, just try to introduce any new Baldur's Gate fans, to the original games. I don't really have that much of a preamble, for this one, so we're just gonna jump right in. You will see this is not quite where we left off. I said at the end of the last one that we would, that I would, you know, tromp through a few wilderness areas and try to get to a little place called the Knoll Fortress, where we need to rescue Minsk's witch, who's sort of the person he's supposed to bodyguard. She's been captured by gnolls, and he wants us to rescue her. So we're going to go do that. We are actually on the map of the Knoll Fortress, though we are not quite at the fortress itself on that map. We did actually have a bit of a good time tromping through the wilderness. We found, killed some winter wolves, got some pelts that'll sell for a good amount. We also got some magic items that we haven't been able to identify, some of which are quite good, but my, you know, I know what they do because I've played this game too much, but we're not supposed to, and so I would just, you know, to sort of preserve the fiction a little bit, I just don't use them until I identify them. So, yeah, oh, we also were actually able to buy a cheap magic item, this shield amulet, which is an item that we can use on our main character here, since he can't really wear armor and cast spells. This sort of gives him the ability to cast a defensive spell on himself that will give him a good armor class, or at least an okay armor class. That's quite useful. It has 10 charges. They don't recharge naturally, but if we sell it to a merchant and buy it back, it will come back with, I think it's 50 charges, which is quite a lot. It will be decently expensive to do so, but the item's just not that expensive, so it's sort of fine. We also found a mage robe, which goes in the armor slot, provides some extremely minor bonuses. But it doesn't prevent spellcasting. They're useful items. They're not that good, though. But, you know, it's not nothing. So, we are going to go ahead and cross this bridge. We have actually finally rested for, like, the first time in this playthrough, or maybe the second time, I don't remember. And we've gotten Minsk hit level 2. Not very exciting. Didn't really get anything special. So we're starting to get out of the level 1 range. People are starting to have actual hit point totals that aren't completely terrible, so we can fight a few more things straight up instead of having to kite everything.
Me now, me hungry.
So as we try to...
You go nowhere. This our bridge. You pay to walk it.
Yeah, so as you can see, as we cross this bridge, this half-ogre guy, Gnarl, is going to try to make us pay a toll. And his buddy Hairtooth is going to, you know, tell us, yeah, you pay 200 for all heads or lose heads. And we could pay him. That's not actually that much money, though. It's not that little at this point in the game either. And we're going to say, you know, isn't 200 a little steep? I mean, do I look like I have that kind of coin? Okay, maybe 200 gold too much. Maybe you pay 100 gold. 100 gold for all heads, or lose heads. Pretty good deal. Still too much, I think. I'd rather just take the long route around. Your head's so dumb you not miss it. Yeah, we kill you, take stuff, and get gold anyway. Dumbhead. So, we're in a fight now. As you can probably tell. It's not that hard a fight, as you can also probably tell. Don't get me wrong, these guys do hit pretty hard, but that's about the most I could say for them. They don't attack very fast, they're not all that accurate, but they will hit fairly hard if they get lucky. So we get some potions. Both of those are decent potions that I will probably not remember to use. There are potions in this game that I actually do remember to use, but they are the exception, other than like basic healing potions. We also found these gauntlets, and we have memorized Identify for the day, so I'm going to go ahead and cast it on these. So these are the Brawling Hands, the Gauntlets of Dexterity. These raise a character's dexterity score to 18, regardless of what it started as. This is incredible. There's only one of these in the game. This is where you get it. This is like one of the best items in the entire game. Basically, you can imagine this as like, take one character who is not that tanky and make them tanky. It is an extremely powerful magic item. A lot of characters sort of need it to do their job, and that's a little bit of a problem because there's only one, and you know, you could potentially have multiple of those characters in your party. The reason this is so good is you can see Jaehaera here is in plate armor, and in modern forms of D&D, really anything in the last 20 years, that would mean she wouldn't really benefit a lot from a high dexterity score. The armor would sort of, in some sense or another, not really stack with her dexterity bonus to her armor class. That's just not how this game works. So we're going to go ahead and equip her with these gloves, and her dexterity is going to improve by 4 points. Remember, lower is better, so going from 2 to -2 is really good. So yeah, she's just way tankier now. She's basically on par with her husband Khalid, given that they have the same armor class and very similar hit point totals. If she was in armor as good as his, she'd be even tankier. So that's just an incredible item. I am running the cannon party, which means that, you know, I basically have to have all these people. Minx Kier also benefits a lot from those gloves. Not as much as Jaehaera does, but it is pretty rough that I have to run him without those gloves. That makes it pretty difficult, and he ends up being fairly squishy as a result. Obviously, he doesn't have that many hit points, but armor class is even more important. In fact, it's substantially more important than hit points for tanking in this game. And so the fact that he doesn't really have a great armor class means that he ends up being pretty squishy. So we're fighting these Zeverts. These are, you know, one of those old school D&D enemies that you didn't really see much in the day, and you certainly don't see much of them now, but they're like, I don't know, little blue gnome-sized guys that are evil. Back in the day, we used to sort of call them like evil Smurfs, which is, you know, fairly accurate. And we're going to check out these caves. We're still not really, if you look at the map, we're still not really in the Knoll Fortress. This is just sort of some caves. The path split right after the bridge, and we'll go to a different part of it in a little bit. But for now, we're just clearing out these Zevert caves. Because there's some important stuff here that we're going to want for the future. And Minsk, unfortunately, has managed to demonstrate the weapon-breaking mechanic by breaking his greatsword, since weapons just have a chance of breaking in this game, and you get a broken weapon in your inventory after they break, but that's not really useful. It's just junk, just drop it. So we're going to have him use a mace instead. He's not... he's okay with maces. He's not, like, great with maces. He will be. I think we're eventually going to have him, like, dual-wield maces, but he's not there yet. He needs really only one more level to pull that off, but he does need one more level to pull that off. Fortunately, his mace is at least +1, so that's quite nice. We found that in the last video. But a +1 mace that he's only proficient in is still not as good as a greatsword that he's specialized in. It's just that, you know, the +1 mace does have a few advantages, and one of them is that it's doesn't break, and I mean, also just is not broken at the time. Like, I guess maybe that would have made more sense in the other order, but you get what I'm saying. His greatsword is broken, so we don't have that option. And the mace, fortunately, will not break. So somewhere around here, one of these caves has something special in it that we are particularly looking for. And I don't really care about the other ones. These guys are not worth any XP that matters. They drop a small amount of money. It's not completely irrelevant, but it's not a lot. There's really just one thing that we're looking for here. And I know that it's in one of these caves, but I do not remember which cave it is in. So we just have to look until we find it. You can see even these guys are worth twice as many experience points as kobolds are. And okay, so this is a carrion crawler. This is not what we're looking for, but it is just sort of nasty. This thing does not do significant damage in the slightest, but it gets a bajillion attacks. And if it hits us, it will have a chance of paralyzing us. And being paralyzed is very bad. So, you know, a bajillion attacks with chance to paralyze is pretty nasty. It is, however, worth a decent amount of XP. 420, is not that bad. And that was enough to level Emlyn up. So she's actually going to be level 4 because rogues level up very quickly. She's a... well, I guess I should say thieves. There's ways in which rogues is still an accurate term there anyway, but I don't know. I could put points in open lock. I'm not entirely sure why I would, but I don't know why I'd put points in anything else. She's not going to be able to get a high enough set traps for me to care or detect illusions. Yeah, I'll just let her open locks. That's perfectly fine. What proficiencies do I want her to get? Crossbow could be okay. Dagger is good, but she can get that at another time. Let's go crossbow.
I care not.
There are so many places
And we have the fun moment of just like, oh look, you know, Emlyn, our thief, has more hit points than Minsk, the gigantic berserker ranger. Just how it goes. She just has more levels than he does, and that makes a big difference. She also has a higher constitution than he does, which is a little more strange. Emlyn just has ridiculously good stats. It's a basically perfect stat line. It's kind of just a little bit absurd. Not that I'm complaining. You know, you don't normally have to have her, but she's the first person you can get in your party, and, you know, since this is the canon playthrough, or not the canon playthrough, but the canon party, we do have to use her. So we are, you know, so it's good that she's quite good, let's put it that way. Some more healing potions are always nice. So as a wizard, we do not get, this is worth explaining. So as a wizard, we can only prepare spells that we have written in our spell book. And you don't automatically get any spells in this game. You have to learn them all from scrolls. I guess you start with a couple at level 1, but you don't get any more after level 1 when you level up. So we need to get it from we need to scribe spells with this right magic button here, which consumes the scroll, and then we know the spell and can memorize it and cast it in the future. Blindness is pretty good, so we'll go ahead and do that. The others we'll just chuck in our scroll case. This book is incredible. Unfortunately, we can't use it until we identify it, and we don't have... we only had one cast of Identify today. So, dang.
What you want?
Yes.
The Gloves of Dex were definitely more important.
All right.
To cast that on. Technically, we can use the gloves without identifying them, and we can't use the book without identifying it. But again, I don't like to use unidentified items in this game. Just for sort of, I don't know, it just feels sort of disruptive to the way the games are meant to be experienced to me. No shade on people who do, like, to be clear. That's just not the way I like to play. Okay, so that was what we were looking for, that book. You might think that that would do something like let us get into Candlekeep, you know, since they need a book of great... We need to donate a book of great worth in order to get inside. No, it does nothing of the sort. We're not going to be able to do that until... we're not going to be able to get back into Candlekeep until we reach a certain point in the plot. So no item that we find is going to change that, unfortunately, because there are some cool things there. I don't really know why I'm exploring down this way. It probably shouldn't be. It's probably not very... Probably doesn't make for interesting stream material. So, now that we are, you know, down here, now that we've sort of gotten the thing we're looking for down in the Zevert Caves, in, like, the last cave or something, now we're going to go into the actual Knoll Fortress. So, you know, off-stream, we ran into some gnolls outside the fortress, one of whom had apparently been kicked out for wanting to eat their prisoner, which probably means we're in the right place. They have a prisoner, and they apparently have not eaten her, and don't want her eaten, which is, you know, good for us. Now, these gnolls are more dangerous than, like, the Zeverts and Hobgoblins that we've been fighting. They're still not individually that dangerous. There are a few different types. Those were just basic gnolls, which I believe are the weakest. I'm not actually sure of the overall power ranking of some of the different types of gnolls, but we'll see them, and, you know, it ultimately doesn't make that much difference, except for, like, the chieftain. So, now we're in the fortress. And, they have these little pits that you can sort of walk down on these kind of hard-to-see ladders. That I remember many years ago when I was first playing this game. That was... I sort of didn't realize that, and that caused problems, as you'll see in a little bit. Okay, so we found some more gnolls. You might think that there are not that many gnolls in this gnoll fortress, but give it time. Now this is very tight quarters, so we can't really quite get everyone into combat, unfortunately. Theoretically... Oh, there we go. There we go. I was going to say, theoretically, I should probably switch to Hera to her sling, so that she can actually contribute from the back line. But, you know what? It worked out just fine, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Okay. So we're going to, like I said, we're just sort of exploring. Oh yeah, there are some more Zeverts up here, and you can see... so the way this game works, it's got a lot of, like, random and semi-random spawns. Like, a lot of enemies are pre-placed and a lot of them are not. And it will just go ahead and like, spawn enemies whenever you, like, gain vision on an area where they could spawn. So, you know, those Everts just spawn behind us. Fortunately, for the most part, the enemies that spawn in like that are generally pretty weak, so it's not like a huge problem.
I'll stay back here.
Baldur's Gate 2 has some more interesting, like, procedural spawns, but they are fortunately less
Cut you down to size.
random. They, like, happen at fixed areas and just scale to your level. Minsk, yeah, because his armor class isn't that good.
I'm gone.
Just takes a lot of damage sometimes, so he just drank a potion. It's a little annoying. We don't have that many of those yet. We're not like we have a few, right? We're not like we're not really low on healing potions, but we don't have an unlimited supply, and they're not so cheap to us yet that we don't care. You can buy them at temples and stuff, but and by, like, I don't know, a third of the way through this game, we will not care about the cost. Oh, okay, hello. So that was another one of those sort of random spawns. We got 3 Null Slashers this time. Null Slashers are definitely stronger than regular Nulls, but as you can see, they're not that much stronger, and in particular, they're not that much more durable.
All right.
They are worth like twice as much XP, but unfortunately, 65 is still not very much. We still really need, really would need, you know, something a little more serious in order to, in order to really get levels. We're going to get levels from stronger enemies than these for the most part. Or from, like, completing quests. Some quests give good XP and some do not.
At your service. Ah, hello. If you insist.
Accidentally picked up a halberd there. I don't want that. No one in my party uses halberds. They're not bad weapons. They used to be when this game first released. But they are not bad weapons now. Okay, so now we encounter kind of a lot of gnolls.
What is it?
And so now it's time to break out the actual magic and put, you know, most of them to sleep. So that's pretty good. So they're just sleeping, and for some reason they don't wake up when you attack them. Even if they did, this would be a great spell, and that's actually changed with versions of the game. It's sort of gone back and forth. Chat is saying Fireball. I do not have any Fireball access yet. I will probably not memorize a lot of Fireball spells in this game, though I certainly intend to throw a few from wands. Fireball is a perfectly good spell. It's mostly worse than Skull Trap, so I'll probably use that instead because it's the same level and fills a very similar role. But there's so many Fireball wands. Oh, we filled up our gem bag.
What is it?
There's so many Fireball wands in this game that I fully do intend to make heavy use of those, especially later on.
You call indeed.
So we've now, thanks to that sleep spell, putting a lot of them to sleep, we dealt with the chieftain and all of those gnolls no problem. I think we killed the chieftain while we were while he was sort of blocked by his sleeping friends. Chat is asking who the little white critter in my main character's inventory is. That's my familiar. So in Baldur's Gate 2, they added the Find Familiar spell. There is no way to find a scroll of it in this game, as far as I know. It's possible they added that in the Enhanced Edition, but I don't think so. So, the familiars are occasionally useful. You can summon them. They can be an actual creature in the world. Problem is that when they die, you permanently lose a point of Constitution. But having one gives you a few extra hit points. In this case, I believe it gives me 6 extra hit points. And that's just like worth having, you know? So it's worth, basically I'm trading an inventory slot for 6 extra hit points. I'm able to start with a spell even though there's not a scroll with it because it's level 1. Okay, so this is Dynahair. This is the person Minsk asks us to find. Hello, Dynahair.
So many we meet are lacking.
I thank thee for saving me. 'Twas courageous to follow the likes of Minsk into battle, if a touch foolish. I have naught to offer thee in return, save my services in battle. Mayhaps I could travel with thee a while, and an opportunity may arise for repayment of my debt. Minsk is, well, Minsk, but he hath a strong sword arm, whilst I am practiced in the arcane arts. Shall we join? Who are you that you weren't a bodyguard? I am Dynahair of Rashomon. 'Tis not a title, it is just where I am from. We two are indeed far afield of our home, but 'tis a necessary rite of passage. Minsk must make his dejama by seeking adventure, while I must prove my worth to my sisters in much the same manner. 'Tis an interesting time for the realms, with great things foretold for the Sword Coast. 'Tis therefore a likely place to look for what we need. What dost thou seek on this adventurous road? Mayhap we can all find what we need together. How did you come to be captured by the likes of these creatures? Alas, we were ambushed in the night. Minsk was overcome by yet another blow to the head, and I was spirited away before he could recover. With but 2 eyes apiece, there is not more we could have done. Certainly 'twill be safer for all of us if we join together. What sayest thou? You're welcome in my company. One cannot have too many friends, except, you know, you're not allowed to have more than 5 friends in this game, but, you know, we only have 4, so great. All right, so we get a chunk of XP for saving her, 800. That's not too bad. We get more than that from killing a single winter wolf, but we'll put that aside. Looks like Minsk leveled at some point in this mess, so that's actually very nice. So we're going to level him up. We're going to put, as a ranger, he can't put more than 2 points in any weapon, so we couldn't make him better in two-handed swords, but he starts with 1 in mace, so we're going to put a second 1 in mace. That's really good. The second point is generally the most important. So that means that this +1 mace he has is now actually extremely good. And then we've got Dynahair, who is going to level up also. And so she is a wizard. She's just a single class wizard, unlike our main character. We're going to see if we have any scrolls of spells we would like her to have. I'm pretty sure I bought a grease scroll for my main character, and then I found another one. And I was lamenting that, but now I can teach it to her, so woohoo. I guess I'll teach her armor, that's fine. Oh, Chromatic Orb, you sure are a spell. Chromatic Orb scales really, really well, sort of. It has some really powerful effects at high levels. The problem is that they get a saving throw against those effects, and it's an incredibly easy saving throw. It's like the easiest saving throw in the entire game, so it tends not to actually do its thing. So I don't think I'm going to bother teaching her that. Oh, there's actually an argument for teaching her color spray. I think I'm not going to. We're going to teach her grease and mage armor. Normally there's a chance to, based on your intelligence score, you only have a certain percentage chance to successfully scribe the scroll. And if you fail, you don't learn it and you still lose the scroll. What most people end up doing is just like saving their game beforehand and reloading if it doesn't work. So one of the mods I'm running just makes it 100%. It's a little, mostly it cuts down on reloading. Let's see. Magic Missile is not a great spell at this level. It scales with the level of the caster really well, but we are very low level. So I am probably just going to give her a whole bunch of grease castings.
Whatever they need.
What is it?
Grease is an awesome spell,
Fine.
which I'm sure you will see us use in the future. I did not think to grab a weapon for Dinah Hare. What is she even proficient in? I think it's sling. Yeah, okay. She has one weapon proficiency and it's sling, so we're going to give her Jahara's sling, which is a little obnoxious because, like, Jahara could use a ranged weapon, but
Yes.
it's just easier to control the party if I can just click on the enemies as a mass and have the mage throw mostly ineffectual attacks from the back line. Oh, we're also going to give her our mage robe, not for any practical reason, but because she actually uses the full mage model, so she gets a cool cloak. And that's literally the logic. That item is bad enough that I don't really care about what it does. It just looks cool.
Camaraderie, adventure,
A few more knolls.
the stuff of legend. 2 point. I found.
Now, I will say, now that Minx has mace proficiency, I'd sure like to give him a second mace. That would be very convenient.
You call?
Or has mace specialization, I should say. I really should not be just going into melee casually. Oh wow, another level up. That's convenient. What's that going to be? A fighter level up for our main character, probably? Or maybe a thief level up? No, it should be a fighter level up. We've leveled up one in thief. Yeah, fighter. Okay. So I don't really get anything exciting. A few hit points. My attacks are more accurate. That's it. We're going to be, as a triple multi-class, our main character is going to be leveling up a lot of times, and most of those levels are going to be pretty underwhelming. So now we're just going to leave the area. We rescued Dinah Hare. We've conquered the Knoll Fortress. Let's actually form up our party a little bit so that, Dinah Hare isn't walking at the forefront as we try to leave. Her armor class is truly terrible, so we don't really want her to be in the line of fire. She does not want to be first into the fray. There might come a time much later in the game when we want her to be, near the front, but honestly, in Baldur's Gate 1, mage tanking is a little questionable throughout the entire game.
Oh dear.
As we get higher and higher level in Baldur's Gate 2 especially, mage tanking will become, like, the optimal thing to do. We'll actually, transition our main character into being a frontline fighter as opposed to mostly sitting in the back and doing archery. For now, in Baldur's Gate 1, armor class is king, and the people who can wear the best armor get the best armor class, essentially. With some specific exceptions, but in general, that is the case. So as a result, we're going to have a very sort of standard. The frontliners are the people in the big muscly people in plate armor. They're the people you think they are. Later on, it will get a sort of a weird inversion where there may be more the damage dealers, and the tanks might be more of the more castery types. Though we might have a few of those on the front line too, like we have Jahara, who is a fighter druid, and is perfectly capable of casting some pretty good defensive spells at high levels. So, I will spare you exploring more random wilderness areas, and we're just going to go back to Noshkol. Specifically, I'm actually going to go back to the Noshkol Carnival, which is an area that I don't believe y'all have seen yet.
All right.
Oh, good. Journey took 1 day and 12 hours, and you don't sleep in this game, generally speaking, while you travel. So that's a little exciting. So this is the carnival. There's not a whole lot here. You can go to the big map. I guess I didn't quite fully explore the area. Oh, well, not important. There's a bunch of merchants here. This one is terrible. These ones are all pretty good. One of these guys is where we bought that shield amulet. But mostly we're here because these guys
Indeed.
are a little finicky about what they will identify, but they are like the cheapest people in the game at identifying magic items. So we're going to go ahead and sell some of our gems here, make a little more money. You can see we're starting to get some cash, although still not the kind we'd need. You know, we've seen some big ticket items that are like 30,000 gold, and you know, we have 2,000 and change. So it's still a lot of stuff is still way out of our price range. That said, that will change a little bit. Yeah, so this guy's actually the most expensive identifier of all of these guys. He identifies things for 90 gold. The going rate is 100. So 90 is still a discount. And I'm not going to waste your time with shopping around a lot, so we'll just pay him a few extra gold. There's one of the guys who does it for like 50, but he doesn't identify that many things. So what do we have? We have Bracers of Archery, the Dale's Protector, +2 to hit with melee weapons. Whenever it says Thaco, you can just sort of think of that as 2 hit. Or, sorry, with missile weapons, not with melee weapons. So since our main character is primarily an archer, we'll give that to him. Fantastic. Let's see. We also found a +1 longsword. We'll go ahead and give that to Khalid. I'm not even going to bother selling that longsword, even though I'm right in front of a merchant. It's just not worth it to me. I did not... Oh, no, I must have. Okay. We also found a +1 club, which is very nice for Jahara. This was added in the Enhanced Edition. There's like 1 magic club in the whole game in the base game. I kind of think it might not be easily accessible or something. It's sort of a weird situation, if memory serves. This belt, Destroyer of the Hills, +4 armor class versus crushing attacks. That's pretty good. We'll give that to Minsk. It's not incredible, but, you know, situational AC bonus is certainly better than no AC bonus.
Yes. At your... All right.
Let's see. Can we sell this halberd?
Authentic. Really, it is.
We can, for 1,000 gold. So, you know, casually going up to 3,000. That's pretty nice. Obviously, we are going to spend some money in the process of identifying things. And we are also going to get some money from identifying things. Let's see. I'm going to sell some of the scrolls that I don't really have any intention of scribing or otherwise using.
Oh, hello. Fine. Very well.
Go to the next one.
If you insist.
I've got the best prices this side of Cormier.
Hmm? Oh, very well.
I'm going to just consolidate everything in one inventory. I don't remember which one of these guys identifies what, so.
Oh, fine.
I've got the best prices this side of Cormier.
Now this guy actually sells some some range weapons. We need another sling now. You might recall we also need some. It would be nice to restock on arrows. Maybe get some more sling bullets. That's probably all we really need there. Still doesn't identify our stuff. Okay. Let's see. Oh, Jahara really doesn't need this +1 staff anymore. Now that she has a +1 club, that's not really doing anything for us. So you do have to worry about ammunition in this game. As you can see, the size of the ammunition stacks has gone up with versions of the game. It was initially 20, now it's 80. So that's pretty convenient. Oh wow, we only had 8 arrows left. Good thing we bought some more. Okay. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and consolidate that with mine. Of course, we've also got some extra arrows on our people who only do a little bit of archery. So I'm not really worried about running out anytime in the near
What you
future.
want?
You cold?
I guess theoretically I could give the staff to Dynair. Sure. It's probably worth as much there as
At your service.
as it is
Hello. Very well.
selling it for like 300 gold or something.
If you insist.
Okay, and then the armor merchant. Okay, that is just this tent right here. I'm hoping one of these guys will sell us what will identify our last couple of things, but they might not.
Indeed.
We're going to go back to Noshkil proper anyway to sell our
I've
winter
got the
wolf
best
pelts.
prices this side of Cormier.
Okay, well, this guy will at least... No, he won't. Okay, that's annoying.
All right, all right. Of course.
Oh, this is Bronwyn. She's a party member. We're not going to use her in this party, but you can recruit her. She's a cleric. When you come to this place, she's been like petrified, and there's a dude right around here who tries to sell you like a stone to flesh scroll to free her. And you know, if you do that, if you buy it, you can use it on her and free her and get her in your party. That's great and all, except if you just go to the temple in Noshkil, they also sell a flesh to stone scroll for like half the cost. So if you want to free her, just do that. It's better. Poor Minsk is very tired because we've been, you know, walking for 36 hours straight, and he has, I think, the lowest constitution score in the party. Yeah, he sure does.
What is it?
Constitution affects your hit points, but it also affects how quickly you become fatigued. And fatigue just gives you a very strange penalty on your rolls. It like lowers the minimum roll, which has some very odd effects. Let's put it that way. So like he could hit things. So Minsk does, how much damage does Minsk do? Minsk does 10 to 15 damage. So he does d6 plus 9 damage right now. That's pretty good, actually. Wow. But he could hit someone for only 9 at the moment because of the fatigue.
You call very well.
Which is just a little odd. Okay, this guy is going to just, if we talk to him with a winter wolf pelt in our inventory, he'll just give us 500 gold for it. We don't even get an option to say no. He just does it.
My prices are the best south of water.
But that's okay. 500 gold is a good amount of money to get for a winter wolf pelt. So I do not begrudge him that in the slightest. Okay, we have a lot more money than we had last time we were here, so we'll buy another potion case. As we've seen, they can fill up. We don't really need anything else that this guy has, but I think he can identify... He still can't identify our tome, but he can at least identify this protection scroll and this studded leather armor. So studded leather armor plus 2. This is quite good for Emmeline, so we're going to give it to her. And then the protection scroll. The target is immune to all physical attacks made by undead creatures. It's actually even better than that. It's basically undead cannot target you with anything. That's a ridiculously powerful scroll against undead. And there's a small chance we'll actually remember to use it in any of the important undead fights in the game. Small. I probably will forget. I usually forget. So we are going to go to the Noshkil mines. And actually, as we go to the mines, I think we are going to get a not so random encounter. Now you may remember the Noshkil mines are the place that Khalid and Jahara wanted us to go. They're the main iron mine for the region. And something going on in them is one of the main causes of this iron shortage that's going on. So we're going to check it out.
You have been waylaid by enemies and must defend yourself.
Hail, and well met.
So we seem to be in some kind of ambush. Keep your distance, traveler. What do you want?
No, there's no reason for this to turn violent. Hand over your belongings and you may yet live.
You'll need to be more convincing than that, brigand. 5 against our party? The odds don't seem to favor you.
You should listen to Senjak, friend. Perhaps you've noticed our associates who are even now aiming their arrows at your hearts. Raise a hand against us and they'll cut you down.
This is a little obnoxious. I feel like I should have a dialogue option that's like, I'm not afraid of you, but no, I'll just say, you know, if I die, I will at least take you with me. I'm really not that afraid of these people, but it's fine.
Now then, empty your pockets. What's going on back there? This is impossible.
St. Jack, Dorothea, I swore I would crush the life out of you someday. Today is that day.
So, I mentioned last time that the Enhanced Edition NPCs have a little more involved introductions than the base game NPCs. This is Dorn. He's a party member. He is a very evil half-orc who is on a quest for vengeance against some people who are also very evil. So, he's not completely incompatible with good parties in this game. In Baldur's Gate 2, he pretty solidly is. He's pretty strong. He's the highest natural strength score in the game. He's not super tanky, but he's okay. In general, he's a strong character. We're not going to run him. He's not in the canon party.
Dorn, you should be dead or rotting in a Luskan prison. How did you find us?
I'm happy to see you, Dorn. Leaving you behind to take the blame was all Simeon's idea. He's the one you want, not us.
Just following orders is a coward's excuse, Dorothea. And I haven't forgotten what you said when I refused your advances.
What advances? She would never consort with a half-orc, especially when she has me. You have changed, Dorn. You're as stupid as you're ugly. Tell him, Dorothea.
Senjak was the first to agree with Simeon. He always hated you. But you know, I didn't feel the same way.
Dorothea, what do you say? Yes, of course. But the half-breed brute is too stupid for that work. Men, rush them.
You are both mewling cowards, turning on each other as easily as you turned on me. Half your men are already dead. You'll join them soon.
It didn't have to be this way. We've beaten you before, Dorn. We'll do it again. Attack!
At your service.
Okay, I don't love that our main character has sort of been forced to the front like this. But, should be fine. Oh, actually, okay. We're being targeted by these guys. Let's actually use that shield amulet to give us a decent AC and just, you know, go killing those guys. Okay, so during his introduction, Dorn can't go below 1 hit point, which is good because apparently he is not doing so hot. He seems to be losing horribly, which is kind of entertaining to me. You know, it's supposed to be his cool, awesome cinematic open, and he's almost dead.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Every once in a while, the game will... so, obviously, pausing is a big thing. You see me do it a lot. There's a bunch of auto pauses for this game as well. You can enable them or disable them. Wow, this creature is just not able to hit her. Okay, there she goes.
You handled yourself well enough.
One of the auto pauses I have enabled is weapon unusable, which the most important reason that might happen is like one of our weapons breaks, but it also happens when we like run out of 1 stack of ammo. So sometimes that's important and sometimes it isn't, because running out of 1 stack of normal arrows kind of isn't important when we have 2 other stacks equipped. Anyway, yeah, Dorn is saying we handled ourselves well enough. Who are you? What was that business between those bandits and you?
My name is Dorn Khan, and I was settling an old score. I've been hunting those two for almost a year now. That's 2 down and 2 to go.
When you struck them down, what happened? I saw some ghostly apparition appear.
My powers are none of your concern, unless you are looking for a strong arm to join you.
We can actually flirt with him if we want to, but I don't really think we need to. He's weird, so I'm just going to say goodbye.
Wait, are you?
What if I am?
I've heard of your prowess. Traveling with you might help my vendetta, and and my powers could certainly help you.
Another time, maybe. You shouldn't make a habit of committing mistakes like this. They add up. So,
If you
I'm
insist.
pretty sure he didn't, but as our journal up here says, he will go... your journal up there says that he mentioned that he will return to the Friendly Arm, which is that first inn that we found Khalid and Jahara in. I'm pretty sure he actually didn't mention that, but, you know, whatever. That's not really that important. He is, in fact, going back to the Friendly Arm, and we will be able to find him there. If we ever want him in our party, which we don't. But the Enhanced Edition NPCs, that's where they all go if you don't accept them into your party. Alright, so we found a magical Wakizashi and a magical small shield.
Call of golf.
Neither of those are all that interesting or good. I don't know, the small shield's okay. Wakizashi could be good for a different party, it's just not good for us. So now, that done, we've now finished walking to the Nashkel Mines. And before we go in, we're going to take a quick trip to the southwest of the map. For no reason, I'm sure. So the actual mines are sort of up there, but we're not going to... We will be in them very shortly, but we're not going there quite yet. We have one stop to make along the way. Right here, with this man Prism. So this is a weird little thing.
Yes.
You might remember that last session we talked to a guy who mistook us for the bounty hunter Black Wolf and was like, oh, you know, if you're back so quickly, the job must be done. Here's the money. Well, that was a bounty on this man, this man Prism.
Beauteous creature, you are my masterpiece.
Never should I have stolen these emeralds, but there was nothing else that would capture the majesty of thine eyes. I did what must be done, for I have left my shop, forgotten all my commissions, and spent all that I had. I must complete thee. Wait, there is someone here. Who are you? 'Twas that relentless Grey Wolf who sent you, wasn't it? Grey Wolf is the same guy we got mistaken for earlier. We could pretend that Grey Wolf sent us, but no. I have nothing to do with anyone named Grey Wolf, nor would I want to. Thank Denair, who is one of the more obscure knowledge deities. I thought I was done in. I am not cut out for a life on the run. Mayhaps you could help a foolish sculptor finish this epiphany. Please guard this place, for surely Grey Wolf will come seeking the bounty on the gems. I will pay with my last possessions if you would do this one service for me. Sure. If it is so important, then I shall guard you as best I can, yes. I thank you, for I cannot run from this place until my task is done. I have been using potions of speed to aid my work, and have not slept for days. She is beautiful, is she not? 'Tis a monument to my foolishness. I saw her but once, on the outskirts of Evereska, and said nothing. I let thee pass from mine eyes, and mine heart hath cursed me for it. So he's pretty thoroughly besotted with someone that he's making a sculpture of randomly over here. The camera seems to have moved down in an awkward way. That's not usually what happens. But, okay, this guy has come up and talked to us. Apparently this is Grey Wolf. I have come for you, Prism. No, not yet. My work is nearly done. Please, I implore you. Your sentiment is wasted on me, fool. You are but gold in my purse. Do you make your situation worse by hiring help to protect you? Who are you, fools? Prism only wishes to finish his masterwork. Why not let him? What harm can it do? You should be more worried about the harm I can do. Never have I taken a bounty and not delivered. Now stand aside, that I might dispense with this fool and claim my prize. Or would you rather I go through you to get him? Consider well if he be worth your lives.
At your service.
So,
Oh, hello.
I guess he's just going to attack.
Fine. What is it?
We're not going to let him do that.
Oh, heart's really not in this.
Ooh,
I'll do my
okay.
best.
Big hit, big hit. His armor and stuff isn't that good, but he does hit like a truck.
You call indeed.
Ow.
Huh, this way.
Yeah, very well.
As directed.
Your gold plate and packing
I will say, he's giving me more trouble than
What you
he
want?
usually does. This is probably payback for all those very easy mage fights I've had. I'm going to go ahead and have some of my people drink potions so that we can actually, you know... Oh, okay. Okay. Quickly, the game... So this is a difference from Baldur's Gate 1, but not from Baldur's Gate 2. The game pauses when you're in your inventory screen. Originally in Baldur's Gate 1, the game unpaused when you went into your inventory screen, which was a little frantic. So he had some money, and he also has a longsword. It's kind of a fancy-looking longsword, but, well, we'd need to rest to identify it again. So, you know, that's interesting. We might want to rest, though. We took kind of a beating right there.
What is it? Gauze.
The guy was pretty high level, even if his armor wasn't that good. He had a lot of hit points and did a lot of damage.
Soon, my work will be done.
Alas, my work is complete. Take what you will from my possessions, but leave the sparkle in her eyes. Oh, sweet creature, my effigy is thine, to thee is done. Perhaps our paths shall cross in distant realms, and I shall find the courage to call thy name, Elisine. Fun fact, Elisine is a very important character in Baldur's Gate 2. We get a point of reputation for helping this criminal, and then he walks over here and dies. I don't know how we got a point of reputation, because, like, the only people who saw us are dead. But whatever. We can also loot the eyes. He said not to, and it doesn't matter. We're taking them anyway. They're emeralds, they're worth a good chunk of money. Sorry, dude.
What you want?
If you insist.
And then we're going to throw down a save, and we're just going to do a rest because...
Do not dream often,
Oh.
but tonight the visions are vivid indeed. Long have you walked, but now you find yourself back amidst the stones of Candlekeep. Your former home looms before you, but the gate is closed and barred. Over the walls there is a candle in your old room, but as the light goes out, the brick surrounding the window closes together. The very walls conspire to keep you at bay. A familiar voice startles you. Though it is calm and caring, you cannot go back this way, child. You must go on. Gorion forms before you. Though his image should be comforting, it seems but a shade of his living self. He is dead in your dreams, as in life. The phantom of your foster father gestures toward the blackness of the wood, as though it should be inviting. Perhaps it is, in a way, but the traveling will be hard. As you think this, a smooth and obvious path becomes clear out of the corner of your eye. It seems meant for you, pulls at your very being, and promises to quickly lead you away from the life you once led. Perhaps this would be for the best, but it is a bit too convenient for your liking. You do not wish to dwell upon the loss you have endured, but neither should it be forgotten. Gorion smiles and fades away. The pull becomes a push, but you turn away, steadfast in your new direction. The way is not quite as clear, but it is sure to be interesting nonetheless. A whisper follows as you stride away, something vestigial and sinister that you recognize, but yet have never heard. You will learn. You don't look back.
So we just had a mysterious little dream. Okay. That's interesting. We had a mysterious dream that's kind of cryptic. We got a special ability. We can now cast Cure Light Wounds once a day, just for free, which is very cool. And then we got ambushed in the night. The chilling howl of a winter wolf breaks your sleep suddenly. Before you can shake your drowsiness away, the wolves are upon you. It's only one wolf, thankfully. We are going to have a bit of a time here. It is targeting Dinah Hare, but fortunately, I gave her... wait, who was it targeting?
Whatever they need.
It's Jahara. I quickly gave her this this Belt of Antipode, which makes you immune to cold, though you take double damage from fire. Winter Wolves, their only good attack does only cold damage, so that kind of trivializes that if you can just swap that to whoever they're targeting. And they also give one of these pelts that sells for 500 gold and 975 XP, which is the most XP we've gotten from anything short of those golems that we killed in High Hedge previously. Did we complete our rest? We did not. That's unfortunate. We'll go ahead and use this new Cure Light Wounds ability on myself, though, before we try again. Ooh. Okay, ambushed again. Boy, I don't like that. Also realized Dinah Hare has an AI setting I don't want her to have. Because she attacked before I ordered her to. Oh, dearie me. Okay. So that's why we saved first. Her armor class is terrible. A ton of ranged kobolds appeared and just sort of shot her down before I could do anything. So we're just gonna load our game real quick, I think.
Yes.
Try that again. Maybe we'll, you know, spread people out around the squishy, just in case. So once again, we have that happen, but we have the kobold spawn. But at least this time we were in a better formation, and I mean, kobold archers are actually kind of dangerous. I mean, I just want to point out that so far the only thing... Oh, shit. Wow, okay, yeah. So kobold archers are legitimately dangerous. These are apparently going to give me more trouble than all of the actual, you know, much stronger opponents that we've fought that are worth, you know, orders of magnitude more XP. You guys are 7 experience apiece. That wolf was 975. Just, you know, in case you, I don't know, thought that the XP values in this game meant anything. At least with regards to, like, how hard the enemies are. I'm a little surprised that I'm taking that much damage from a bunch of ordinary kobolds, I will say. But, the kobold archers are pretty dangerous, so I'm not, like, that surprised. We did, however, get an absolute just embarrassment of arrows from them, because they each had like 20 arrows. So, you know, we're not going to need to buy a lot of arrows when we're done with all these kobolds. Let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Finally rested successfully.
Have need of me?
That was a nice demonstration of why it's a good idea to save before you rest in this game.
Nature's servant awaits.
Okay, so let's do some healing.
Yes.
Yes, oh omnipresent authority figure.
At your service.
Alright, that should more or less cover us. Get us all into, you know, territory where hopefully we won't be killed by a couple of random kobolds. And then we can come up and actually go into the Nashkel mine. Oh, wait a dang minute. I have one more identify spell because I rested, and I have one prepared, so I could use that on that cool sword. Oh, character's too far away. Split up as the party.
What is it?
No,
Indeed.
oh, weird. I could use that on that cool sword, but I'm going to use that on the book instead. Identify spell, Tome of Leadership and Influence. permanently ups your charisma by 1. The book is consumed upon use. So there's a bunch of these tomes. There's 8 of them, I believe. Yeah, 1 for all 6 of the stats, and then 2 more for wisdom for some reason in this game. Usually the first one you get is this charisma one, which is one of the less useful ones, but we'll still take it. I'm going to use that. I'm going to use them all on my main character because
What is it?
we will hit the because when we go to the second game, our main character's stats will carry over, but other characters won't, even if they're the same person. Like we'll get Jaheira in our party in the second game too, but if we give her any of the stat upping tomes, that will have no effect on her Baldur's Gate 2 self. So it's just not worth it to do that long term. And we'll sort of make our way. You can see, the mine carts and the tracks and stuff. This is really the mine proper. There's a miner over there. We can talk to this guy. He'll probably give us some information. I actually don't remember what he says.
Oh, I'm so tired.
I don't mind digging if there's a point to it, but all we bring up is plagued anyway. Found some tracks in a glass vial too, so it ain't no accident. Wish someone would stick a sword up the tenders of whoever's behind it. Okay.
Yes.
I mean, I
If you insist.
plan to do that. So that's why the weapons break, right? It's not just that there's a shortage of iron. It's that the iron that is coming out of the mine is tainted and weak. So it breaks. It actually, wooden weapons don't break. The iron is very weak at the moment. So we're going to talk to this guy, Emerson.
So you want to take a look at me mine, do you?
I really don't be needing adventuring fools wandering about me mines, especially ones that think they can trump about with nary a thought about asking permission. You got one day. If I see you after that, I'll have a new shaft dug for each of you. Got that? Good. So he's just given us sort of permission to investigate the mines. He's like the foreman. And then we're going to talk to the guards, and they will move aside. They'll wish us luck and move aside to let us in. Honestly, these 3 guys could probably clear out most of the mine themselves. They're decently strong, but they won't, because welcome to RPGs. We never did grab a second mace for Minsk. Maybe we can do that down here. More adventurers, eh? I'd leave while you still can if I were you. I've heard awful stories about what's been happening to those that go deeper in the mines. Why? What have you heard? Well, my friend Rufy barely escaped with his life, he did. Little demons jumped out of the very walls and chased him down. He'd be dead now if it weren't for the guards that came running. Of course, them guards are dead now. Old Rufy's around here somewhere. You ask him what he saw and he'll tell you. Oh, well, he's literally like 10 feet away, so, these containers generally don't have much of value. I'm just looting them on the off chance that one of them has, like, a mace in it. For Minsk. We can pick up some contaminated iron if we want. This iron looks to be coated in some sort of toxic substance. Though just speculation, you wonder if this could be what's contaminating the iron of the region. I mean, that seems pretty likely.
Hello.
Oh, fine.
Leave us be. 'Tis
What?
much work to be done.
Well, what do you want? Tell us about the mines. What's been making the miners disappear? Demons! The little devils are everywhere, I tell you. From the walls they're coming. They're going to kill us all. Demons, huh? Okay. That seems a little high level. We're sort of level 2 to 3. I guess Emmelin's 4, but maybe we're level 3-ish on average. Demons seem a little above our pay grade, but we'll see. I don't think this random unnamed soldier has anything to say to us, really. Oh, well, he actually has some idea. I smelled a kobold the other day and chased him down as far as I dared. Let them have their dank holes if they want. Nothing but a nuisance on their own anyway. Too stupid to be behind what's going on. I mean, kobolds are usually pretty clever, actually, but I believe that guy believes that. Let's put it that way. We've seen some kobolds around here. You know, so maybe those are the demons that guy was talking about? Miner Leslie?
Oh, I'm so tired.
Lots of walls everywhere they are. No room to breathe. No room to breathe. They said they paid excellent wages, they did. Didn't say anything about little holes, did they? No, space is too small, they are. Space is too small. Are you okay? What? Don't you see the walls? Walls everywhere. No room to breathe. No room to breathe. They said they paid excellent wages, they did. Didn't say anything about little holes, did they? No, space is too small, they are. Space is too small. That guy seems to be having a panic attack. I hope that he gets out of here.
I think I'm coughing up blood.
What is it you want? Can't you see I'm a busy man? I've heard that there have been problems with the mines recently. I'm here to try to help. I don't know what you can do about it. Sure, there have been problems. The ore that we've been pulling out of this place has been crumbling almost as soon as it's cast. And what about the miners? They keep disappearing one by one. I'm missing 4 right now. In the last few weeks alone, we've buried at least 5 others. So, that's not good. I'm not going to bother to talk to all the people who don't have names. I will talk to the people who do.
Up blood.
Oh, a visitor. Oh, glorious day. We don't get many down here, as you can imagine. Are you going to be going down into the mines? If so, could you return this dagger to Kylie? He dropped it when he went into the mine the other day, and I haven't seen him since. Sure. Thank you so much. I'm sure he'll appreciate it. So even in this dungeon, we get this little mini quest. It's a pretty mini quest. Literally just bringing a dagger to it. Hey, look, a kobold. We're going to kill it and take its arrows.
Camaraderie, adventure, and steel on steel. The stuff of legend, right, Boo?
So this is sort of the first plot dungeon, basically. As such, for a while... Okay, this is actually the correct way. I probably want to be thorough, because this is a dungeon. I'm trying not to be thorough on every wilderness map, because that's kind of boring to watch. But dungeons are different, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Lots of archer kobolds in here, but mostly in small quantities. We're not being attacked by, like, 10 at once or something, like in that ambush. So they're a lot less dangerous in ones, though they're still not 0 dangerous. You can see a lot of the lootables in here don't really have anything in them.
Leave us be. 'Tis much work to be done.
Finally, someone has come to save us. Do you know something about what's been happening here? Sure, I know what's happening. What do you want to know? Have you heard about any creatures in the mines? Just the dragon is all. Haven't actually seen him, but what else could kill all those miners? Thanks. Somehow I don't think it's a dragon. I mean, that would be cool, but I mean, also we are level 3-ish. Hello there.
Coughing up blood.
Is there something you want? So what do you think has been happening with the mines? Don't you know? The mines are haunted. The ghosts of all those that have died in the mines are here to kill us all. They said they'd spare me. Liked me, they did. Could see it in their beady little eyes. You saw something. Of course I saw something. Had a nice long conversation with the little chap. Would have asked him to stop haunting us too if the supervisor hadn't kicked me. Said I was sleeping on the job. Can you imagine? I think he was sleeping on the job. I don't think he actually talked to a ghost. I mean, I've literally already found a couple kobolds in here. I think it was probably the kobolds.
So dark down here.
What? Oh, it's just another fool here to save us. Go ahead. Try to rid the mines of all their evil and get yourself killed like the last couple. Last couple what? Adventurers, you idiot. You think you're the first to try to save us all? Not likely. Not going to be the last, I'll wager, either. That's one of the more actually concerning reports that we've gotten so far from any of these miners. You know, kobolds are one thing, but if other adventuring parties have tried to clear this place out and died, or at least been repelled, but it certainly sounded like died. I mean, that's not good. That implies more than just, you know, a kobold or two. Implies a lot of kobolds or something else.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
They're coming! The yipping demons, they're everywhere! Save me! I've never heard of a yipping demon, don't be foolish. But there they are! There they! A bunch of kobolds spawn and... Oh, that's interesting. Usually, they target that guy and just murder him, but this time they targeted Khalid and hit him with an arrow, and he survived because he's not like a 2-hit-point commoner. So, we're getting lots of arrows, as you can see.
Fine.
So the fact that that guy... Oh, wow. The fact that that guy called them yipping demons sort of lends further credibility to the idea that the demons the other miner was talking about may just be the kobolds. Maybe that guy doesn't actually really know what he's talking about at all. Still, you know, they're doing pretty well against us, actually. Still finding people in these parts of the mines, but that's much higher enemy density than in the first level. So that's interesting. See what else we can find. But it's not like all the miners have been killed on this floor, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens as we go deeper into this place. Okay, so here we find sort of a little, like, I don't know, secondary, some kind of post. Any maces here? Nope. Sad. Poor Minx, he's just got to have the one mace for a long time.
So dark down here.
We're going to talk to this Kylie, who's the guy we were supposed to give a dagger to. You have my dagger? Thank you so much. I was getting nervous down here being unarmed with all the things going on. What do you know about the happenings of the mine? Kobolds. They're overrunning the place piece by piece. We used to see them occasionally, but now you can't go more than a few feet without kicking one of them on the lower levels. It's not so bad up here with the guards around. Still, I wouldn't get caught in the dark if I were you. So he seems to have a much better idea of what's actually going on. So yeah, sounds like kobolds. So of course, you know, we're low-level adventurers. Naturally, our first major plot dungeon is going to be a kobold dungeon. Very classic. And that's fine and good. And that, you know, we'll see how that goes. We'll see to what extent that really ends up being the case. I don't know why I'm reading the minecarts. They really basically have nothing but contaminated ore.
Perhaps this group needs not quite as much help as I thought.
And yet, here I go looting another one. The the desire to check just in case, even though I know there's never going to be anything that is truly important in any of them. Whatever. This sort of looks like it was meant to be an area transition at some point, but it just isn't. So, you know, these maps are sort of handmade, so they're probably relatively... when this game was being made, they were probably relatively hard to edit. So when design constraints meant they couldn't have, you know, a map there, they just sort of left the doorway there. It's just what it is. There's also occasional, like, reusing of maps in this game. It's not, like, super, like, terrible. You'll mostly see it for things like building interiors, houses in cities, stuff like that will sometimes just be reused.
What you want?
Very well.
It's just, you know, they did the best they could with the resources they had, and they did a pretty good job, but this game is big, and it's, you know, only so worth handcrafting an area for, like, every random house in every random city in the game. I don't think this guy will get mad at me for looking in there. No, he won't. Okay, that must not go down there. I'm pretty sure there's another large group of kobolds on this floor. Oh, hello, there's a body there. I can't, like, investigate it or anything, but it's definitely some sort of, you know, environmental storytelling that we are getting into the more dangerous areas of the mines, let's say. And sure enough, we immediately come into, run into a whole bunch of kobolds. At least compared to the groups we've been finding. Look over here. Same idea. We see a bunch of dead bodies this time. And some more kobolds. Or another kobold. Okay, yeah, there are. Thought there would be a few in here. Whew. They probably need 20s to hit Khalid, but the archer kobolds get 2 attacks around. So, you know, that's... They have a lot of chances to roll 20s, given how many of them we're fighting. So they will hit them occasionally. I should probably talk a little bit about what attacks per round means. This game is not turn-based, but each character still sort of has their own internal round timer, right? Because D&D is turn-based. And this game is based on 2nd edition D&D. So each character gets a certain number of attacks per round, which really just means per 6 seconds. It's not really guaranteed to be like the attacks are evenly split across those 6 seconds. If you get 2 attacks, it's not like you get 1 attack every 3 seconds. Obviously, it will average out to that in the long run, but over the short run, you might get 2 attacks in pretty rapid succession and then just sort of stand there doing nothing for the rest of the round. Notably, though, like... typically in like actual tabletop D&D, if I were to cast a spell, I also would not be able to like attack with a weapon on the same turn, at least in general. And in this game, that is not really the case. Spells just take a certain amount of time to cast, and if they don't take the whole round, I can spend the rest of that time attacking if I want. I probably won't get all of my attacks, though I might, depending on how it ends up panning out. We also, we just found this vial of mysterious liquid on one of the kobolds. There were actually a couple of these vials, but we only need one. This potion contains a strange green substance similar to the residue you have seen in some of the mining carts. The liquid inside appears to very slightly discolor iron that it comes in contact with, and is likely related to the mysterious plague that renders smelted weapons and tools brittle. The kobolds you killed must have tainted all the ore leaving the mine, but it is unlikely they would have concocted this plan themselves. We also have the option to drink it. seems like a colossally bad idea.
You cold?
So I'm gonna throw down a save and do it. I'm pretty sure I know what this does, but I do not remember. Yeah, so I drink it and I become poisoned. Oh dear, and my constitution permanently is decreased by 1. So that's a colossally bad idea. We're gonna load our game. I didn't realize, I thought I'd just get poisoned. I didn't realize it would permanently lower my stats. That's incredible.
Of course.
It's actually wild. That's why you save your game before drinking a vial of mysterious liquid that, you know, is tainting the iron ore. Feel like that's fairly obvious. So the game can be fairly punishing, but also like, I don't know. I feel like maybe if you thought that was a good idea, maybe punishment is appropriate. So we're gonna go down further. We find a greenstone ring belonging to some guy named Joseph. No special description, just a generic description for a ring. I am pretty sure there is some dude somewhere in this game who wants that ring for a mini quest, and I don't care. Chad is asking, have I played this on hardcore yet? As in, have I played this without, like, have I beaten the game without loading a loading a saved game? Mostly yes. So I did what's called a minimal reloads playthrough,
At your service.
which is where you only reload when your main character dies, which is a game over. And you don't do like weird gamey things like try to get your main character killed so that you can reload, stuff like that. I did that. My main character only died once, about like an hour into the game, maybe less than that, to the ogre that we got the belts from way earlier. Just because I was careless. I just charged into melee when I did not need to charge into melee, and it was not a good idea. So that was my only reload for that playthrough, and then I proceeded to play the rest of the game deathless. So yeah, without ever reloading a save. So have I played the game without loading a save? Have I completed a hardcore playthrough of this game? Technically no, but basically yes. It was an interesting exercise. It can be very stressful. This game can be very random, though there's also a lot to mitigate the randomness if you prepare. And that was cool. I did develop some strategies that I still use on that run. There's a very powerful boss much later in the game that I really could not consistently beat until I did that run and sat down and went, how am I going to do this without loading my save? And now it pretty much just works every time. So that was cool. That was a cool experience. I'll show off my strat for that much later, because that's going to be a while. That's like the very, very, very late game. In general, I do find the no reloads playthroughs interesting. I just also tend to find them fairly stressful, and when I'm playing this game, it is more often to kind of chill out. So I would rather not, overstress myself. Maybe Emmeline, an identify scroll. Okay, fine.
At your service.
So, that identify scroll, I could use it to teach Dynahair Identify, or I could use it to immediately identify one of the items in my inventory. I think... Didn't mean to give that to her. I think I'm actually going to use it to immediately identify an item in my inventory, which sounds a little weird, but, oh well. We'll have plenty of identify scrolls throughout the game. We are going to identify this longsword. So this is Varscona +2. It's a +2 longsword that does +1 cold damage for every hit. This is a really good weapon. This is like the best longsword in the game, and we just found it outside of the first plot dungeon. We could easily have been level 1 here. Which sort of speaks to this game's item, like loot ethos. This game will give you a few, like, decent items. By the way, we're going to give this to Khalid, because he uses a lot of longswords, and I'm going to take the +1 longsword for my main character, because he's not in melee as often, but it's still nice to have. And by the way, bye-bye Hole's longsword. Your time being useful is done. Yeah, so in this game, you definitely do find some, you know, lower tier magic items, like just random +1 stuff. But in general, it's not like you get to the end game and then that's when you start finding all of the end game loot. It's more like, as you go through this game, you find the occasional piece of endgame loot. And by the end game, you're festooned in it, but even at this level, you might have a couple pieces. And that's just, I like that as a design ethos. It means that you can get some cool stuff early on throughout the game, and you don't have as much of the problem that a lot of RPGs have, particularly more modern ones, where you get some cool new thing and then, you know, you're excited about it and you like it, and then half an hour later it's useless and trash because you've found the next best thing. You know, you find the +1 sword, and then you find the +2 sword, and then you find the +3 sword, and then the +4 sword, all that. This game is much more gonna, you know, again, it will throw some like generic +1 stuff at you, but much more often you are looking at getting
I'm gone.
you know, some much more often you are able to get like actually substantially good items that will be good for the entire game. Okay, well that wasn't ideal. So you saw there.
Yep.
Oh, Emuin's still on melee stance. That's why that's happened. Whoops. So those were traps that we detected. You need to have find traps. There's a couple ways, but the main way is to have a thief using their find traps mode next to it for a few seconds. I happened to know that they were there, which is why I was looking. And, you know, they just do damage. We saw Emmeline stepped on one because I was a little careless. And she took some damage. She got hit by an arrow. That's not ideal. But mostly, you know, the traps there were used to make those 3 kobolds on the other side of the bridge more challenging. If I had just charged over, they would have kind of wrecked me. Whereas moving sort of a squishy rogue up to disarm the traps, you know, they might get peppered with arrows by the kobolds. Now, fortunately, since our shield amulet is currently up, we have a rogue with a pretty decent armor class, so who is also a good archer, so I was able to mostly dispatch them from this side of the bridge. And that's just one of the things I like about a lot of the design in this game. You know, you'll see things that are used in interesting ways, but there are also still like ways to counter them and ways to deal with them. And if you know what you're doing, the enemies might be set up in particularly clever and dangerous ways, but if you know what you're doing, you can still overcome them pretty solidly.
What is it? You call indeed.
You can see we're getting an absolute embarrassment of non-magical arrows from all these short bow wielding kobolds. We really should at some point stop picking them up because our quiver is not infinite, and it doesn't really make sense for us to just be, you know, crowding it with non-magical arrows. Obviously we could always drop them later, but like, we're only going to need so many. and it's not like we're going to stop finding things that drop arrows. But at least as the game goes on, they will tend more and more often to be magical arrows, which is a big improvement. It might be, yeah, okay, there's a trap there. So that was, we sort of came by that the other side, but that was a similar setup. Ooh, we almost triggered another trap, apparently. You can see you get a little bit of XP for disarming traps. That was not true in the original. It was another Baldur's Gate 2-ism that got backported by the Enhanced Editions. But to be honest, getting 25 XP for disarming a trap is not important at all. Okay? Like, similarly, the 7 XP we get from each of these kobolds doesn't matter. It's not, it doesn't make any substantial impact whatsoever. Oh, my shield spell is run out, so that's not ideal. You can see that both because my, well, there are a little sound played, and my main character is no longer glowing, and there's no longer a symbol on his portrait of a little shield. So that means his armor class is bad again. I could use the shield amulet again, or I could not. It depends on, you know, the situation. Oh ho, so this is a ghoul. It's actually a decently nasty enemy. I'm just going to try to take it in melee, but if I was being cautious, I would probably kite this thing down. Ghouls move slowly, so they're easier to kite than most enemies. But if they hit you in melee, they can paralyze you. And typically what they will then do is continue attacking that target. And once they have paralyzed someone, they will hit every attack automatically. So if you don't kill them very quickly, the target will often just sort of die. So, you know, paralysis is scary in the middle of combat, and enemies in this game don't have a lot of mercy. Oh, look, spiders. Spiders also dangerous. You may remember, you know, I talked about spiders last time. They have a chance to poison you if they hit you. We actually have ways of dealing with poison now, so I'm a lot less scared of that happening. Since some of our characters have leveled up. Dynahair actually has a special ability to cast slow poison, which cures a poison for some reason. Just as a special ability, and Jaheira just has it as a spell. So Dynahair just leveled up, which is pretty cool. I'm pretty happy about that. The main character is also not that far from leveling up. So Dynahair gets some mage spell slots. Level 2. Unfortunately, she doesn't know any level 2 spells. And I don't have any scrolls of level 2 spells. And you can't memorize level 1 spells and level 2 spell slots in this game, so
of course.
That's sort of unfortunate for me. Not a whole lot to be done there. I'm going to sort of lure these kobolds back, because I think there's other ones that will join the fight if I charge forward blindly. I also just want to note that those spiders were worth 270 XP each, so one of those spiders was worth more than every kobold that I've killed so far. Okay, I don't love this. I'm going to use another charge of my shield amulet so that I can... I'm pretty sure there are traps on that little bridge, so... are any of these commandos? No. Okay, so we're just going to shoot the shit out of them. Obviously, these guys could hit me and do decent damage. They're not going to one-shot me. Kobold's not going to do 16 points of damage with one arrow. You know, that doesn't mean that I want to take hits from them. So I'm a little... I definitely got kind of lucky. Oh, that's a kobold commando.
I'll do my best.
Kobold commandos are a lot more dangerous than regular kobolds. You can see they shoot flaming arrows. And I just shot that guy for 5 damage and he didn't die, so they've got a lot more hit points than normal kobolds, though that is a low bar. They're also, their attacks are more accurate, and, you know, the flaming arrows mean they do more damage. And he has dropped exactly 2 unidentified arrows. These are arrows of fire.
You have need.
So-
Yes. Try.
You will note that the normal kobolds are dropping sort of these sort of big stacks of maybe 15 to 20 most of the time. It's because each normal kobold has 20 arrows,
At your service.
and when they shoot one of them at me, they use it up. And they will just drop whatever they didn't use. That's not how kobold commandos work. Kobold commandos, just no matter how many arrows they shoot
You're
at
a
you,
queer fellow.
I don't think they run out, but they might. Oh, that wasn't good. I got a little too close. I knew there were traps up there, and one of them was a little closer than I thought it was. Or it was not as far in as I thought it was. That's okay.
Nature
Do we have any healing left? We do not.
indeed.
Maybe I'll just drink a potion.
You call if you insist.
We could rest, but we'd probably be ambushed, and it's just a pain. So, the Kobold Commandos just always drop exactly 2 fire arrows. That's just how they work. I don't know why. Probably because each one dropping like 20 would give us an absolute embarrassment of fire arrows. We'll see that sort of thing with a different enemy type later on. Maybe later tonight. I don't know if I'll get that far. I kind of doubt it. But it's certainly possible. Having a good archer here is very helpful, especially a good archer with a decent AC, which, well, our shield amulet is what our main character is, so that's helpful.
I can. Have you none are better?
So we're pretty deep in the mines now, and this is some weird
All right.
cave within a cave thing going on. Another Kobold Commando. So one thing I do want to note, can we identify these? So each character has a lore skill that is based on their class and their level and their intelligence and wisdom scores. Usually the mage or the thief will have the highest number. Right now they're tied. Although actually if you have a bard, bards have incredibly high lore scores. Unbelievable. Like, it blows everything else out of the water. Something like thieves get 2 per level, wizards get 3 per level, bards get 10. But basically when you right click to look at an item, if your lore skill is high enough for the current character, it will just automatically identify that item. I was hoping that I could automatically identify these arrows. In fact, do we have a bunch of +1 of unidentified +1 arrows. We bought some +1 arrows. You buy them, they almost always come identified, but we also got some others. Just gonna see if Emmeline, since she's leveled up a few times, if her lore is good enough to identify those arrows. It is not. That's annoying.
Yep.
What is it?
I should have identified them in some shop, because a stack of 72 is actually worthwhile, but
This group shows promise.
I forgot.
Exceptional.
So, yeah, we've got another ghoul back here.
For the fallen!
Now, once again, this is actually kind of dangerous, especially if it's attacking minks, but no, it died pretty quick. Remember there being something else here, but I think it's up here, and we don't need to go there quite yet. We can just go in here.
They wish my ear?
What all have I got in terms of spells?
Yes, oh omnipresent
Yeah, okay.
authority
Very
figure.
well. Of course.
Okay, so we got some kobolds in here. We're actually gonna try to not go too far into this place. We don't want to start any other events that might, you know,
All right. Indeed.
might be in this little, much smaller map. Although, apparently,
What is
it's
it?
a little farther in than that.
Fine.
Anyone up here? No. Good. Okay. Just want to clear out as much as possible before I start the event, because when I do, things are going to happen. Okay, this is Zan. I don't think we can interact with Zan yet.
You've a task as good as
I
done.
think I'm going to stick Jahara up
You call,
here
of course.
What?
for no reason.
You get in here.
So we run into this guy, Mullahay, who I believe is actually a half-orc. Tazok must have dispatched you, and my traitorous kobolds let you pass, didn't they? I knew I could not trust them. Armed as such, you have obviously been sent to kill me. By Cyric, not a measure of ore leaves these mines unspoiled. and I am still to be executed? I'll not lose my head over this. Yes, fool. Tazok is most displeased with thee. Reveal your treachery, and mayhap he will spare you. Tazok is unfair. I have no desire to cheat him or thee. My letters will show that they are in that chest. Take them, and Tazok will see. So we've just managed to sort of talk this guy into letting us look in his chest. And our characters seem to have gotten a little bit stuck. That's a little obnoxious. Okay.
Of course.
So we're just gonna take a quick look. Rules, you'll never have the chance to take anything. Minions, come forth and kill the intruders. Okay, sure. So, got a bunch of new enemies up here. Mullahay is casting spells at us, because he's a cleric. Though, as is our track record against casters so far, you know, he's not doing so hot. In fact, he's already dead. Oh, I somehow forgot he dropped that ring, even though it's a very, very, very good ring, and you'd think I'd remember. So this is like Mullahay and all the minions he summons. There's a bunch of skeletons and a bunch of kobolds. Is like the first plot boss of the game. He's not all that hard, so, you know, basically we're done. These skeletons are a little annoying. Our backliners do basically no damage to them. So skeletons are 50% resistant to piercing and slashing attacks, and 90% resistant to ranged attacks. So, you know, I'm gonna pick up some stuff from Mullahay, including his holy symbol, which isn't like an equipable item. It's just like a quest thing that we can turn in.
The death of Mullahay will relieve the fears of the terrorized folk of Nashkel, but you remain uneasy. While the half-orc may indeed have caused the evils that befell the mine, the shortage of iron is too widespread to be his doing alone. His letters confirm your suspicions, and though they give little indication as to where his cohorts are hiding, they may have links to the bandits that currently plague the Coastway.
Yeah, so that's our big plot thing. And when I first played this game, I didn't do a ton of reading, and the result was that I got to this point and had no idea what to do. I guess we'll give Minsk a shield for now. Though wait, did Mullahay have a mace?
Yes.
No, he had a Morning Star. Annoying. Okay, this is a really good ring, but we're probably not going to be able to identify it. I guess we did find another scroll of identify. I thought we did. Maybe it was still in the box. I didn't have the inventory space on my main character to take everything, so let's go ahead and read the letters before I finish looting. My servant Mullahay, I have sent you the kobolds and mineral poison that you require. Your task is to poison any iron ore that leaves these mines. Don't reveal your presence to the miners, or you will find yourself swamped by soldiers from the local Omnian garrison. My superiors have recently hired on the services of the Black Talon mercenaries and the Chill. With these soldiers at my disposal, I should be able to destroy any iron caravans entering the region from the south and east. I don't want to deal with iron coming from the Nashkel mines, so don't fail in your duty. Tazok. And that's the guy Mullahay thought we were working for, so that's interesting. On another letter, my servant Mullahay, your progress in disrupting the flow of iron ore does not go as well as it should. How stupid can you be to allow your kobolds to murder the miners? With your presence revealed, you should be wary of enemies sent to stop your operation. Your task is a very simple one. If you continue to show that you can't do the job, you will be replaced. I will not send the kobolds you have requested, as I need all the troops I possess to stop the flow of iron into this region. With this message, I have sent more of the mineral poison that you require. If you have any problems, then send a message to my new contact in Baragast. His name is Tranzig, and he'll be staying at Feldepost's Inn. Tazok. So that pretty much tells me where I need to go, right? I need to find this transig person, but Tiny Nathan, when he was first playing this game, didn't really read that. So I got very lost at this point in the game, and just had no idea what to do. So, you know, let that be a lesson to you in this game. When the boss drops letters, read them. So, we also have some scrolls. Infravision, the literal worst spell in the entire game. Doesn't do anything. Actual nothing. I talked about this a little bit with the Helm of Infravision before. Literally zero. Okay, so sleep is a really, really, really good spell. So I might want to teach it to Dynahair. But she can't learn it. She can't use it. She can't cast it. Nothing. That is because she is an invoker rather than a standard mage. Invokers get more spell slot. They're specialists in the school of invocation / evocation, which is the school of, oh, I didn't mean that, of spells like Magic Missile. Yeah, currently just Magic Missile. Mostly big blasty spells. And there's 8 schools of magic, which is the same as it is in modern D&D, though the names have been condensed a little bit. But they're the same 8 schools. And, you know, much like in modern D&D, if you play a wizard, you might choose one of the schools as like your subclass. Back in 2nd edition, you could choose one of the 8 schools to specialize in. But that would mean that you would lose access to some of what were called the opposing schools. So as an invoker, Dynahair gets extra spell slots every day, and her evocation spells are a little bit harder to make saving throws against, but her other spells are easier to make saving throws against, and she cannot ever cast enchantment spells. So even though Charm, or even though Sleep in particular is really good, she can't do it. She also can't cast Charm Person. Enchantment is most of like the mental spells. However, Web, weirdly, is an evocation spell. It's a very good evocation spell, and it's 2nd level, which you just got, so we're gonna write that. We'll be using that. Oh yes, we will. Oh yes. We also got this sword, the Moonblade +3. This is an incredibly good sword. I mean, this is, for some reason, it's proficiency type dagger. There's actually a good reason for this, but even though this is like a longsword, we can't use it. I can't really... Okay, there we go. Blade resists any attempt at using it. Likely it is attuned to its owner and none other can wield it. The hilt bears the name Zan. So, yeah, only Zan can use this blade. This is basically a +3 longsword that Zan can use even though he's a wizard, because it's classified as a dagger. There's a +1 armor class, plus 50% fire resistance. This is like literally the best weapon in the entire game. But the only person who can use it is a wizard, who is not exactly, he's not exactly built to be a frontline wizard either. So this is not a very good weapon in practice. We will go ahead and write this this one, and I'll go ahead and unmemorize one of the grease spells to give her an identify. So yeah, we have kind of a cool weapon that we can't use. Really, you're never going to make good use of. It looks really cool. It's got like this blue flame. This is Zan over here. He's just been like held prisoner. Hello, Zan.
I thank you for my freedom, friends, for I have languished in these dismal vaults too long.
At last I am free of my dreary prison. 85 days are far too long for one of the fair folk to live as a dwarf. You look no better off than I, but my appreciation for my liberty bids me add my spells to your cause. I am Zan. Shall we face the impossible together? How did you come to be trapped? Alas, I was sent to investigate the strange goings-on about this area, and I landed caged for seemingly hopeless weeks on end. I have not seen the sun almost as long as I have not seen my home. So he is probably he is probably one of the previous adventurers that the miners told us about. And I'm going to say that he's welcome to join me, even though our party is full. I thank you. However ineffective our actions be, I shall not rest until I have made payment to you. You have searched through Mullahy's treasure. You may have found a sword amongst his documents. The sword is a moonblade, and it is my most valued possession. So, we've just tried to add more party members than we have room for, so we have to kick someone out. We're going to pick Zan. So he's never actually going to join our party. Well, my stay with you was admittedly fruitless. It has at least been fun. Sure, Zan. These last 5 seconds have been great. I might even enjoy sharing another ill-fated adventure with you should you ever require the use of my considerable talents. So because we did that, instead of just telling him to, like, F off, he's just going to stay there, and we could come back and get him if we needed, if we wanted to, if we had room.
Oh, very well.
That's how you, you know, interact with a new character without, like, making them leave the party forever. Or making them leave the game forever, basically. I'm just going to put his Moonblade back in the box. I'm sure he can find it. I have no use for it. It's not, I can't sell it or anything. Or if I can, I can't sell it for any reasonable amount of money. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. There's some pathing thing where Dinaher and Emlyn were in the same spot and having trouble moving. Okay, so we've beaten Mullahy. Found out that this Tazok fellow seems to be, you know, he mentioned superiors, but he seems to be, you know, at least the next person up the chain, and that we might be able to find more where he is by talking to this Transig in Baragast. First, let's find out what's over here. So someone seems to be causing the iron shortage. I mean, this mine is a problem, but also... Hey, a Grey Ooze? I don't think Grey Oozes are that deadly, but we'll find out. No, not at all. So the mine, you know, this mine churning out bad ore is definitely part of the reason why we are having problems. Why the region is having problems, but also, like, why aren't they just getting ore from other places? Well, it seems like Tazok has some bandits that are attacking this place. So, we're going to go check that out after we report back in Nashkel. But first, this is interesting, you know? What's going on here? We just sort of came out a back entrance to the mine. We can't actually go in. This is a one-way cave. It's a little obnoxious if you come out this way before fighting Mullahy. Okay, and we are going to have a little bit of a time here. Because... let's see, I'm sort of inching north. Yeah, here's why. These people. I'm going to be a little dirty. Go ahead and equip ranged weapons on everyone. Precast Grease. Grease doesn't, like, damage them in any immediate way, so it's not going to aggro them. But now when I come close enough, you there. Is your name Envale? Hurry up and answer. Your answer better be the truth, for your life depends on it. No, that isn't my name. I think you have the wrong person. You lie. Remember what I told you about lying? You are foolish to even try, as my god Cyric allows me to see through all falsehoods. You shall now die, Envale. You will never interfere with the Iron Throne ever again. So, I don't think we know at this point who the Iron Throne are. But apparently these people don't like us. Also, Cyric is like the god of murder, so that's fun. Okay, we are going to back up as far as we can. Oh, I do not like that. Okay, that's bad. So, yeah, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, split up before that projectile hits. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna take a load right there.
Yes.
That was very rough. Okay, maybe that was not the way, maybe the grease spell was not the right way to do that. Let's try this again. So I think it's pretty important that we disrupt that. Oh, jeez. Okay. That's frustrating. Immediate poison on Khalid. This is very bad, actually.
Cut you down to size.
Yes, good as done.
Go in there. Get into melee, please. Shit. Well, we're not dead yet. Not from that one, anyway. So, remember I said about spellcasters being kind of nasty in this game? Yeah, spellcasters are kind of nasty in this game.
I feel so... You're a queer fellow.
Good lord. Okay.
What you want this way? Oh.
You cold indeed.
Okay. Go into melee, please. Dang it. Okay. I really don't like having characters die, so I'm going to have to load my game again.
Very well.
So these, like, ambushes by enemy, basically enemy adventuring parties, are some of the hardest things to fight in the game. And we are not super well rested or anything, so we don't have... Like, our web spell might help with this, but mostly we're just kind of in a bad way.
You're a queer. What you want?
Yeah, no. I think you're doing the things you should do. They're opening with different spells this time. That's probably a good thing. Emmeline, Magic Missile. Lord, okay. What numbers are they hitting him on? Ooh, not that high numbers. That's not good. Jahara, please heal your husband. You kill this person. Minx. Nope.
Yes. Fine.
Okay, we need to get into melee with these people. Probably the best thing to do would just be to actually rest before I take this fight, so that I actually have all my good stuff, but I'm stubborn, so... Also, the fact that Khalid is getting poisoned every time is pretty rough. Lord, okay.
You're a queer fellow.
Okay. Wow, alright. Oh, she's shooting arrows of fire, so she's just doing truckloads of damage. Okay, let's actually pre-buff for this. Not that I have very many pre-buffs, but let's take this fight seriously.
You're a queer fellow.
What else could be good? No defense, probably not that useful. Khalid, you really, I think, need this belt. Your armor class is not quite up to snuff here. Don't really have anything else, unfortunately. Not Berserking Minx, that's a terrible idea. Oh, don't have the Belt of Antipodon. Let's give this another try. Okay, so here's the thing. We have two ranged characters who are doing a ton of damage, who I really need to get into melee with so that they can stop doing a ton of damage. Also have two clerics who are going to start casting spells at us that do a lot of damage. So, we need to sort of throw enough ranged attacks at some of these people throw enough range attacks at the clerics that they die, or that we can disrupt their spells. And we need to get into melee with the annoying archer enemies. And so far, okay, well that was bad, but also kind of really lucky. I don't know, kind of a weird combination. In that we just took a couple really big hits from their clerics, but we also all survived.
Can I? Oh, not really not in this. What is it?
Okay, that's just in... Oh, nope! Dang it! Okay, that was going really well.
Yeah.
Good as done.
I've done had
Okay.
enough
I
of
need to
this.
be a little more aggressive with... I don't think Nick's being in front is correct. That's not good.
Need of me?
Hello.
Okay, all of you go there, you go there.
Yes.
You sort of go there,
What
you
you
two go there. Actually, Emmeline, go hit this one.
What is it? My heart's really low. Can I? I do my best.
Wow, okay, Minx, get into melee, please. The lead back off.
I care not.
Okay.
You're a queer fellow.
As directed.
Let's talk more.
Of course, Minx uses a potion and immediately needs to use another one. Or immediately gets hit for exactly as much damage as he got. Okay, Khalid, I guess 10 hit points is enough. Ooh. I am not sure why that cleric is still casting her spell, and I do not like it.
At your service.
And then Minx goes. Well,
Very well.
a new approach may be necessary. This is where I'm paying for all my luck in the previous battle, or the previous
I've
sessions.
done had enough of this.
Sorry, I'm just going to look at my potion list. I mean, a potion of absorption would actually be pretty good here.
Yes.
Potion of absorption makes me 100% immune to
I'll do my
electrical damage, so I think what I'm going to try to do is hope that I can sort of bait out those glyphs of warding that the clerics keep casting at me, because those do electrical damage for some reason.
You call.
Because if I can do that, I really need Khalid to be in the front, not Minsk. So he's going to take an absolute metric ton of damage from this.
Yep, this way.
Yes.
Okay, rigid thinking there is not good. That's going to make my main character sort of act randomly. And somehow, that cleric, okay. Cleric still got a spell off, but also it was fine? I don't know, I'm confused. Okay, we need to focus down the mages. This is kind of weird, or not they're not mages, but the clerics, the spellcasters. Okay, and now they've paralyzed half of our party, so I think this is over. I have definitely had a much easier time with this battle in the past. I have also had very hard times, so I'm not, like, shocked, but I am peeved that this is happening on stream. Put it that way.
No less than done.
Was the Grease plan actually the right plan after all? I don't think so. I do not think so.
Oh, hello.
What is
you know, I don't remember. I think these guys are too high level for the sleep spell to work on them. But, I really ought to try. There's no good reason for me not to be trying.
I'm gone.
Also, Minsk get into melee with one of these guys. I really need to also just make sure that I'm, like, sending the right person first.
Yes.
Oh, well, that'll make a big difference. So bad news is that Jaehaera did get rigid thinking. Good news is that we just managed to
You're a queer fellow.
rigid thinking is like a single target confusion for some reason. It just makes the target act randomly. Oof, we are getting hit by a lot of spells this time, but since we were able to sleep the 2 fighters, we might actually be able to pull this off. Maybe. Okay, I like that Command there is really annoying. It's a really strong spell, but at least it only lasts a round. Please kill this person before Minsk dies. God damn it. Okay. Okay, but that's the way to do that.
At your service.
So, throw down a sleep spell.
Can I...
And then,
Servant awaits.
somehow or another, Khalid is still not the one in the front. Okay. Okay. We really need to make sure that those things don't all hit. That's 2 glyphs of warding. You can sort of tell what spell someone is casting just because the spell casting animation is different for the 8 different schools of magic. We only got one of their fighters that time, and then Khalid dies.
Yes.
Okay.
Of course.
Khalid is theoretically tanky, but man, this fight, really, these guys are just very high level. They're much higher level than me, which is sort of the problem. So, once again, let's do this.
You cold?
Come on, sleep spell. I really need you to land well.
Have need of me?
Good, okay.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Excuse me, why have you not... Sometimes when you hit someone with a spell, or when you hit someone for damage while they're casting a spell, they just keep casting the spell anyway. And as far as I know, it's completely random, so that's fun. It's my favorite thing in this game. So now we're in a similar situation to where we were before, where these clerics are just going to absolutely wreck my people while we attempt futilely to shoot them because they got the paralysis off.
Yes. Fine.
So.
At your service.
I am lower level than I know this sounds weird. God, she does so much damage. I know this might sound weird. We are lower level than I usually am when I do this, and that is probably part of the problem. Oh, that's bad. Okay. That was a lucky critical hit. Oh, but one of their people is still up, and she shouldn't be, and she's attacking Khalid, who is rigid thinking, and he has 2 hit points left. And I don't think I have any quick heals that are not potions, so that's not good.
What you want?
Oh, she may have switched targets. No, that was Khalid who just hit Jaehaera. Oh boy, okay.
The best defense is an overwhelming offense.
There's a small chance that I pull this off this time, given the clerics are dead, but there's also a very high chance this woman kills Khalid, but she didn't do it. Now I just need to not have Khalid kill his wife. That would be bad on a number of levels, frankly. You would probably have to go to all kinds of therapy. Okay, now we just are going to run away from Khalid. Because until his confusion makes him decide to just do something else? Yeah, there we go. And we really need that spell to wear off. So, we've won if Khalid... behaves himself, basically, which fighting a bunch of gnolls is not ideal. I mean, gnolls are pretty weak, but even so, we are not in the best of shape. I'm actually going to pull Jaehaera back a little bit, because she does not have a whole lot of hit points right now. Okay, and the thing wore off on Khalid. Okay, that was a lot harder than I expected. Admittedly, that would have taken a lot fewer tries if I'd realized sleep would be effective earlier. Oh, hey, a mace. They have a lot of stuff. So, they have some good stuff. Oil of fiery burning. Once exposed to the air, this oil will immediately burst into flame, inflicting 5d6 points of damage, save for half, to all within the area. You can throw it like a grenade. Drink potion. Don't drink the oil of fiery burning. Don't do it. It does what you think it does. Don't do it. It's a really good potion, though. It's basically a fireball in potion form. Well, like a... I don't know. It's a fireball grenade. Now we're going to give Minx a second mace. Potion of Power is quite a good potion. Potion of Stone Form is questionable. Potion of Magic Blocking is incredible. Immunity to spells of 5th level and below for 5 rounds. 5 rounds isn't very long, but there are no spells in this game above 5th level, so this is just immunity to all spells. There is a specific time that I like to use that potion. We have not... We will see that much later in the game. We also have some other cool stuff. We got some magic items. I think that's another longsword. Sure is. Still can't really identify anything, though, unfortunately. So we'll just, you know, dump some of the heavier stuff onto Minx because he has a higher strength. And,
What is very well.
Can't save the game while in dialogue mode. That's weird. And our main character is upper level in Mage and Thief, so that's very nice. And I'm going to go ahead and up our Find Traps. We will need that. Wow, how bad were those traps that we were able to disarm them with a 15 Find Traps? Interesting. Okay. I forgot it was Emmeline that I'd pumped Find Traps on. Okay, and because we're upper level in Mage, we get more spell slots. 2 more. It would be 1 more, but it's 2 more thanks to our ring that doubles our first level spell slots. What do we want? Well, sleep is really, really, really good, and Dynahair has grease covered, so I'm going to take 2 more sleeps.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you insist.
Okay, and also, there is other stuff in this area, but I don't really want to spend a ton of time exploring on just random wilderness areas on stream. So I could rest, and I'm going to. And I'm going to get attacked by a pack of wild dogs.
Hello.
Yep, I've done had enough of this.
Who, of course, are going to get into our squishies because there's 80 billion of them. So that's, you know, fun. Definitely my favorite thing. Dynahair needs to just sort of run around, and we really need to hope that none of them roll 20 against Jaehaera while she has 3 hit points, or 5 hit points, or whatever it is. But they didn't. So, wild dogs, not that much of a threat even when we're very beat up. I could just go to town. Yeah. But, I happen to know that there's some things waiting for us in town. So, I don't necessarily want to do that quite yet. Boy, I should have spent one of those... I should have spent another one of those healing spells on Khalid. Oh well, that's fine. I'll have to just manage with 11 hit points for a little bit, I think.
Not all are as trustworthy as
Sure, Minx. Yeah, I'll do anything wisely at your command. Okay. So we're going to go back to Noshkul.
You have been waylaid by enemies and
and get attacked by 2 normal wolves, which is a little exciting.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes!
Yes.
Oh wow, I did not realize I had my main character fighting on the front line without any sort of defensive spells. That's fine, not the end of the world. So...
Indeed.
Ooh, back to Nashkel. This is the place where... I mean, this is the place that hired us to look into the Nashkel mines, sort of, obviously. If you remember the name of the mines. So, we're just gonna turn in that quest since we're done. And that will make Khalid and Jahara happy, because they were the people who originally sent us there. Sent us on the quest. So...
Stand away, citizen!
You've returned. It would seem I was right to trust you. This town thanks you wholeheartedly and is pleased to give you the proper reward. Please take this 900 gold for your efforts. It's a small fortune by anyone's standards. Thank you again. I also found this vial of liquid on one of the kobolds in the mines. I think it might have something to do with the iron. I'm no master of metals, but you might want to show that to Thunderhammer up in Baragost. He might know a little more. Again, thank you for all you've done.
This group shows promise exceptional.
And it gives us another point of reputation, a bunch of XP, etc., etc. We no longer need those items, so I'll probably just dump them. No, I guess we want them to talk to the Thunderhammer dude. By the way, all these graves like say different things. Some of them are funny. Most of them are an attempt to be funny. One of them, here lies the body of Rob. If not, please notify the Undertakers at once. One of the ones over here, if you click on it too many times, will summon some very powerful enemies that will attack you.
Indeed.
I'm not going to do that, because I am not that high level and I'm very beat up.
Helm watch over thee upon thy quest.
Let's see. So yeah, so this is just the temple. This guy temples can identify items. They just charge the standard 100 gold, but they can generally identify pretty much anything, which is nice. I'm just gonna have him identify all my stuff. Probably not worth it to have him identify 4 fire arrows, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Okay. They have stores at which they sell healing potions and flesh to stone or stone to flesh scrolls, and some other useful potions. The healing potions are definitely the most useful of all of these. You can also just pay them to cast spells on you. Go ahead and do that a little bit. If you want healing, the most efficient one is just Cure Light Wounds. There's like no reason... I'm wrong. I thought the most efficient one was Cure Light Wounds, but apparently Cure Serious is just slightly more cost efficient if you have that, if you're down that many hit points. Huh. Weird. But sure, we'll pay this temple enough. I mean, we could just rest for free, so, or in the inn for a few gold. But also, I don't care about this. That's chump change, so might as well. That's more useful if someone's died. The temples can like raise them. I don't really like to do that. It's kind of annoying, but you can. I mean, it is objectively a good thing that the temples can bring your people back. So what do we have? We have the Harrower +1 from one of those ladies that gave us all the trouble. +1, +3 versus undead. That's certainly better than our +1 longsword. Marginally, but you know, still, like only against undead. But that's still better than nothing. We have some darts. These are where the poison was coming from. That was fun. Yeah. We're just gonna put those in our ammo bag. We have some good magic arrows, some +1 ones. Oh, right, and these are more than 3. So the arrows of fire, do an extra d6 fire damage if the target fails a save. So that's cool. The real advantage is these are +2 arrows. So that's nice. So we have 23 +2 arrows. I'm going to go ahead and actually equip some of those. I'm not going to use them right away, but like, I don't know, that seems pretty good. Let's give our main archers some magic arrows in case we need to, you know, hurt something that needs magic weapons or something. Let's see. This small shield is interesting. It's a +1 small shield, so it gives... shields at base give a +1 to armor class in this game. So, like, Khalid, even though he has his large shield, it's only getting +1, but he gets another +1 against ranged attacks. This small shield gives +2, but doesn't give any protection against ranged attacks. So, is that better? I'm actually going to say I don't think it is. I actually think that's worse in this particular game based on the kinds of things that I'm worried about fighting. Good. We don't need... yeah, the short sword can go with my plot items. I'm just sort of sorting my inventory. This Wakizashi +1 we have no need for, so that can be sold. Talos' gift, the Boots of Grounding. Talos is the god of storms, so these give plus 50% electrical resistance. Would have been pretty useful in that fight with all the glyphs of warding going around, but I guess I'll give that to my main character, sure. And the Ring of Holiness, or the honorary Ring of Sun, the goddess of love. So this lets a priest's character, usually like a cleric or a druid, prepare 1 extra spell of each level up to 4, assuming that they can prepare spells of that level at all. So we're going to give that to Jaheira, since she's our only priest, and give her... You know what we don't need anymore is Entangle. We have better versions of that spell. I'm just going to give her more healing. Armor of Faith is eventually a really good spell, but not yet. And I'm not a big fan of the others. Bless is okay. Some people really like Bless, and they're not totally wrong. I just think it doesn't last very long. Good Berry is complete garbage. It's just worse Cure Wounds with extra steps and higher level. Bark Skin is not that good. Charm Person or Mammal is actually pretty okay. Fine Traps is okay. Flame Blade is... let's take Resist Fire and Cold. Okay.
You're a queer fellow.
Fine. If you insist.
I'm going to duck into the store real quick before we get into, I believe is going to be another fight.
Business has been poor.
He's going to buy that other Winterwolf pelt.
Always right.
And we're going to sell him some stuff. A bunch of stuff. This +2 leather armor sells for a lot. Almost 2,000. That's really nice. We don't really have any good use for it, so we might as well. You make a huge portion of your money in this game selling magic items. I mean, you can see we're about to make like almost double our money just from selling magic items. And then we also have some gems that we can sell, including those emeralds, which are worth a lot of money. I think we might actually be able to turn these in at the bounty hunter guy, at the guy who's paying bounties, rather. But I'm just going to sell them. Not that important. So now you can see we're actually starting to get some cash. Which is pretty nice, because we are going to need it as this game goes on.
Oh, of course.
There is very nice stuff to buy. We're going back up to Baragast, which is where there is a lot of nice stuff to buy.
I am death come for thee.
Ah, yes,
Surrender,
and this man,
and thy passage shall be quicker.
who is, I believe, a very high-level bard. I think he's like level 10 or 9 or something like that. The bards sort of need those levels to be good. They're a good class, but in part because they level really fast. I'm certainly not surrendering to anything. Struggle if you must, dead one. I do not mind working for my money. Why Nimble has been hired to deal with the likes of you, I'll never know. So... yeah. Oh, this is another mage fight. Oh, okay. So this is our first mage who's actually gotten mirror image off. Oh, and then we proceeded to critical hit him through the mirror image. Okay. Mirror image absorbs a certain number of hits. Okay. So, that went okay. But we got a little bit of a taste of why mages can be hard. So, he casts mirror image, which basically randomly redirects hits to a bunch of little illusionary copies that pop when you hit them. So you can sort of think of it as absorbing a certain number of attacks against him, except that, like, you might get lucky and get an attack through, as I did there. So mages will often open a battle with that and then cast nasty crowd control spells like Horror, which hit a couple of my characters. Looks like it's like Minsk and Jahara are now just running in terror. And that would be really hard, except that thanks to some lucky hits, he just kind of died. And also this Rasad guy. This Nimble fight is not unique to the Enhanced Edition, but Rasad is. Rasad is one of the Enhanced Edition NPCs. He's a monk, which is a class that was not even in Baldur's Gate 1 initially. It was only introduced in Baldur's Gate 2. Unfortunately, monks are incredibly bad in Baldur's Gate 1. They only become good, you know, a fair ways into Baldur's Gate 2, and Rasad also has one of the worst stat lines of any NPCs in the game. So he's really bad. There's some really good items in his personal quest, but he, as a character, is, like, mechanically terrible. He's fun, though. He's like personality-wise, I like him. But yeah, he's saying, I should not have a habit of picking fights in the street. Be careful when inviting danger into my life, for it comes all too willingly. Who are you?
For asking. My name is Rasad. I am merely demonstrating some of the ways in which we Sun Soul monks reflect our spiritual life through physical activity. May I tell you more about the Order of the Sun Soul?
I'm just gonna tell him. You know what? Sure. For the sake of the stream, sure. Let's do it.
The Order of the Sun Soul was founded during the time.
Hey, what are you supposed to be then? Some sort of kick puncher? Come on, take a poke at me, I dare you.
I have come not to fight, but to demonstrate a few.
Oh, so that's how it is, eh? You prance about, pretending to be some sort of hard man, but you're just a coward, right?
I am not afraid to defend myself, but I do not seek out conflict without purpose. Instead, I wish to share the light of the Moon Maiden.
Oh, I get it. You're some kind of simpery priest, just pretending you knows how to fight, but really just begging for coins, yeah?
A Sun Soul monk uses mind, body, and spirit in equal portions, but not to prove his martial superiority. Rather, he seeks to better the lives of those around him.
Yeah, save it for temple school, boy. If you're not gonna fight nobody, I won't waste any more time on you.
I guess enlightenment doesn't bring in as many coins as a good fist fight, eh, Rasad?
No, you are correct. Many people find excitement only in physical action. To find true enlightenment, one must combine the physical with the mental and the spiritual. You seem like someone who would appreciate the tenets of my order. May I tell you more about Saruni and the Sun Soul monks?
I feel like that's a little more exposition than we need. He's a monk worshipping the goddess of the moon. They're basically cool people, but we're not going to really get into that.
Farewell. Until we meet again, may you walk in moonlight.
Okay. Oh yeah, okay, so they did add a scroll of Find Familiar. That's pretty useless to us, but we'll take it, we can sell it. Unfortunately, we could teach it to Dynahair. Only the player character is allowed to have a familiar, so if she cast it, it would do nothing. Which is a little obnoxious. We got this note. Nimble, the money you have received from Transig should cover your usual fee. Your assignment is a difficult one, but I'm sure that you are up to the task. There's a group of mercenaries who should be coming through Nashkel in the next few days. They are led by a whelp named Envale. We are to kill Envale and all that travel with him. I warn you, they might not look like much, but they are very dangerous. Good hunting. Tazok. So Tazok Seems like that was yet another bounty hunter sent after us, specifically by Tazok in that case. So that's interesting. We also have some more items that we probably can't identify. Yep, okay.
Yep.
What is it? Fine.
And of course, half of our party is just running around because they're terrified. Fortunately, we can actually go in here without them. Some areas require your whole party, some do not.
I've had enough of this.
Business is getting poor, what with the iron shortage and all.
We're gonna just have this guy identify these items and then like immediately sell 2 of them to him. So Topsider's Crutch is a ring of infravision. I've said a couple times now that infravision is like completely useless, so we don't care. Infravision, by the way, is the old version of dark vision. It's just not mechanically implemented to do anything in this game. It's quite useful in actual D&D. And yeah, +1 short sword, we don't need that either because we just got one. These boots are good though, +5 to AC versus ranged attacks. That's just good stuff. We like that. I'm actually going to give that to Khalid and take that belt off. This is the belt of bonus AC versus piercing and missile attacks.
What you want?
Give that to my main character.
Indeed. Of course.
And then we're going to hope that at some point, Minsk and Jahara stop running around. There's no such thing as, like, getting to make a new saving throw at the end of every round in this game. You just, if you get hit by fear, you're just running around until the spell wears off or someone, like, casts another spell that gets rid of it. It's pretty annoying. Not that bad in the middle of a fight, but, or not that, sorry, not that bad outside of a fight. There we go, now it's worn off. Very bad in the middle of a fight. So let's see. Our reputation's up to 17 already. That's very nice. So we are going to go back up to Baragast. We've not found the scroll that I really wanted to find. That's annoying. We are going to go back up to Baragast because we've got that Transigs fellow to find.
All right.
I believe also, now we can go into the Jovial Juggler. We could actually get here before, but yes, now we can, now this Officer Vi is here. Envale. I thought it might be you. These southern parts are quite set afire with talk of your work in Nashko. I am Officer Vi of the Flaming Fist, and to be honest, I could use your help. Wow, I don't really have a whole lot of... These dialogue options are, let's say, very hot and cold. I guess since we're lawful, I'll say, I'm honored to be worthy of your notice, officer. How may I be of assistance? My contingent and I are cut off from Baldur's Gate. We haven't received new orders for close to a week, and to be honest, I don't like the feel of this at all. The bandit raids have been getting worse since you've returned from Nashko. I used to think that they were just your usual brigands out to make a quick buck in troubled times, but not anymore. They're working for someone. One way or the other, I've got to get my troops back to the gate. I'll pay 50 gold pieces for every bandit scalp you can bring me, and spread the news. I want this whole region cleared before winter comes. So, that's why bandits drop scalps. Why we were scalping them before this, I do not know. It's pretty morbid. But, oh right, she's actually a store interface. I don't think she used to be. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't remember. But, yeah, so we can sell her those 4 scalps that we have for a cool 200 gold. Which isn't, that much, but it's something. And I believe, yes, there's this guy here who you can also talk to. Oh, and a dwarf who apparently wants to talk to us. Aye, so everyone's heard. Everyone's a rubbernecker then, is it? Old Gurk had his famous cloak stolen right off his back by a bunch of paltry Tasseloi. Yeah. It's old news, and if you make one crack about the cloak would be an appropriate place to lose it, at least, I'll put your liver on the menu. Now move on and let the next people in line have their laugh. So that guy just basically gave us a quest by complaining to us about the fact that everyone is making fun of him. He lost a cloak, and he will be happy with us if we bring it back. As I've mentioned, there's a lot of items a lot of quests in this game where, someone wants you to bring them a magic item, and The magic item is worth more than the quest reward. This is one where neither the magic item nor the quest reward is worth very much. The cloak is a cloak of non-detection. It is a very powerful cloak. So what it's supposed to do is protect you from divination spells. What it actually does is it means that, like, it renders you immune to things like see invisibility if you're invisible for a couple specific reasons. Most reasons you can be invisible, it doesn't work with, so the cloak is pretty bad. But it can be strong, maybe, but basically it's bad. When it works, it's very strong. It just doesn't work on much. And in walking to the smithy, Elminster, we've run into Elminster again, and apparently we know his name now. I guess he's introducing himself. Well now, our paths cross once more. I suppose proper introductions are in order, as we will no doubt meet again. My name is Elminster. I've heard nothing but tales of thy exploits in the time we have been apart. Would seem that thou art destined to have quite the impact on the Sword Coast, quite the burden for one so young. I was not aware that my actions were common knowledge. Perhaps not common knowledge, but everything is plain to those who know where to look. As it is, I am aware of thine efforts and accomplishments. Thou art quite adept, as Gorion predicted. All that remains is to determine motive. Gorion? You knew him? But you said nothing before. 'Twas neither the place nor the time for such things. As painful as the circumstances may have been, it was time for thee to forge thine own path. One of the most valuable lessons that life has taught me is when not to go sticking my pipe in other people's affairs. Such is the case now as well. I feel like if my dad was murdered and 8 hours later a dude was like, well, it's time for you to forge your own path, I would be upset. Just gonna put that out there. Let's see. I am gonna be irritated at him. Thank goodness. Does that mean I shall be spared any more of your chatter? It is a questionable mind that disregards a friendly voice, regardless of how nebulous the advice. Nevertheless, I shall say my piece in plain words and leave. The bandits that thou dost seek make a habit of traveling in the northeast. Fare thee well. So I'm realizing that since it's the middle of the night and the Thunderhammer Smithy is like the only shop that closes at night in the entire game, I can't really do anything with it. Hello, small child. What's up? Envale, someone in the Jovial Juggler gave me a gold piece to come find you. Take a moment, child. I think I know who you're talking about. Do you mean Officer Vi? We've already spoken with her. Yeah, she's really nice, isn't she? Yeah, she wants scalps. Well, I better go before Mama starts to worry. Timora be with you, okay? Really, the really nice lady who wants human scalps. I mean, admittedly from, you know, theoretically bad people, but, like, I don't know. It strikes me as pretty sketch.
Very well.
We're just going in here because I believe, yeah, we got a short sword for this guy. And it's not a good short sword, so he can have it. Okay, cool. So 50 gold pieces and 500 XP. That's, you know.
Fine.
It's not a lot, but it's something.
At your service.
It's an awful lot of kobolds worth. Let's see, and let's go over here. Yeah. Kagan's shop. Kagan is another NPC. He's a dwarf. He's kind of an asshole. Very tanky if you give him these gloves of Dex, and otherwise not very good.
Very well.
Alright, we're back in here. I am going to go ahead,
You want some whiskey?
talk to the bartender, and buy... So now we can afford a bunch of this guy's stuff. So he actually sells some pretty good stuff, right? Some of these spells are actually kind of good. No, okay, glitter dust is kind of good. Do I even want it? Sure. What's the worst that happens? The shields are not bad. +1 shields don't hurt. But the thing I'm here for is this +1 composite longbow. Because, oh yes, that's a good bow. Do I want the shields? Nah, it's fine. And I guess I'm not going to go up a level for a while in Mage, but I'll go ahead and learn Glitter Dust preemptively. You can learn spells of levels you can't cast yet, it's just you can't cast them yet. So we now have, like, probably our endgame bow. Like, we're probably never going to replace that bow. At least not in Baldur's Gate 1.
At your service.
Fine.
I don't know why that guy won't buy composite bows. I guess I'll keep it. They're not worth that much.
Very well.
We can go up here. There's a few things up here. So there's this Algernon guy who we can theoretically get a cloak from.
Yep.
I think we need to pick his pocket though, and I don't think anyone in this party is good at picking pockets. I guess I got 40. Let's see. Remember, it's sort of ish out of 100. I'm pretty sure this won't work as I've saved my game, so we'll see what happens. Target has no items that can be stolen by a cut purse of your skill. Meaning that if I want to get the cool magic cloak he has, I would need to buff my pickpockets. That's possible to do. Best way to do it is with something called a Potion of Master Thievery, which I believe buffs your open locks and pickpocket scores. We don't have any of those, unfortunately. So, oh well. And oh look, it's Transit, because this is the inn that we were told to go to.
You have none are better.
Yeah. So let's see if this mage fight goes as well as the other mage fights.
I'll give him trouble.
Why do you bother me? Can't you see that I'm in a hurry to get out of this damn town? Maybe you could tell... perhaps you could tell us why you're in such a hurry. I'm not going to tell you guys anything. Get out of my face. You won't be rid of us that easy. We know you're up to no good. Now tell us everything you know. You know what I'm up to, eh? Well, maybe something you don't know about is my magic skills. You might not believe me, but if you ain't out of my face in the next 5 seconds, I'll blast you to Kingdom Come. I mean, no, dude, I do believe you. I see the wizard robe that you are wearing. But I'm not afraid. I'm just not afraid of that. Bring it on. I warned you, now pay the price. So, yeah. Of course, he immediately drops a scroll of glitter dust. That's okay, I've got more than one mage. So, we got some more wands and stuff, another ring, a letter. Tranzig, I am perplexed as to why Mullahay has not communicated with us in some while. I think the game expected me to faff about a little more between the mines and coming here. You are to go to the mines and find out the condition of his operation. You are also to collect any iron that may have been stolen by the kobolds. Our next raid will most likely take place at Peldvale or Larswood, so visit either of those areas and track us back to our camp, Tazok. So, that means if we go to one of those areas, we can probably track them back to their camp. Convenient. We'll teach her glitter dust. Yeah, okay.
You cold? Yes, of course.
Poor wizards. They are so much more threatening in the second game, or, like, I don't know if have people standing in front of them or friends or anything. Just one wizard who doesn't have any defensive spells up against this party is, let's say, very luck-based at best. And so far the matchup seems to have been going poorly for them. I'm actually going to... I could have done it in that other end, but I am going to just go into one of these ends and
You want some whiskey?
go ahead and do a rest real quick. Yes, and you can buy a royal room, which basically just makes you heal for a little bit, a few more hit points, for 8 entire gold pieces. So sure, it's 8 gold.
You were startled out of sleep with a chill, though the night is warm and calm. It is though someone has walked across your grave, and for a moment you wonder if it was you. With this thought, the ground beneath you opens, and you are swept into the dark. When light returns, you do not find its presence comforting. Before you lay the empty mines of Nashkel, cleansed by your previous passage. You move through walls and floors alike, descending deeper and deeper, until a bloated figure comes into view. Mullahay, in no better shape than you left him, stands motionless before you. Held from whatever afterlife calls it, this foul apparition has been waiting for you. A dagger of bone hovers before it, ready for a willing hand to drive it deep. Had this creature breath, you are sure it would be hurling curses. It waits for the kill, a death beyond death, and knows no hope. You turn your back on the blade, and it clatters to the floor. Punishment enough shall find this creature in the land of the dead. You need not inflict any more upon him. Surprised and thankful, the visage of Mullahay hobbles forward and through you, off to whatever fate it deserves. Perhaps for safekeeping, it leaves a part of itself behind. It is a spark of hope that fills a space within you, a dagger-shaped hole you did not know was empty. There is a cry of rage from the depths, and the dagger of bone launches itself through the air. Your heart, its target. You awake just as it should have struck, and the cold sweat that covers you stings your eyes. A disapproving voice lingers in your ears, though it should have disappeared with the dream. You will learn.
So we've got our second interesting plot dream. And with it, we have gotten the ability, we can now cast Cure, this really fast Cure Light Wounds twice. So that's convenient. Instead of once per day. So those dreams and the abilities you get from them are sort of based on, not on your alignment per se, but on your reputation. So if you're generally being a good person and helping people, you get sort of the good people dreams and the good special abilities. And if you're generally being an asshole to people, you get the bad person dreams and the bad special abilities. But it's interesting that we're dreaming of dead people either way, and something seems to be unhappy with us, telling us we will learn.
Indeed.
I'm sure it's nothing. I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. You know, who would worry, really? Okay. Now that it's day, I'm gonna go visit the smithy. I'm gonna see if he has anything to say about the ore. And then, given that it is that we've been going for almost 3 hours, I think I will probably call it after that. Come on. Sometimes you really need to just try again when you try to get into an area. Your party members sort of get stuck on themselves. Okay, let's see. Mr. Tarum something. Hello there. Is there anything I can do for you on this fair day? I've just come from Noshgul. I found this vial on one of the kobolds lurking in the mines. I think it might be what's causing the iron to break. You found it just like that? Well, that certainly does illuminate things, doesn't it? I thought maybe you could use it to find a way to reverse the effects. I couldn't know. But I know someone who can. Give me a few days. I should have some results. All right. So, cool. We've left that with him, and I guess he's working on it.
I can make whatever you
We'll
wish
just
for a
see
wee
real
bit
quick
more
if he has any good items. I mean, buying that +1 mace for Minsk is probably worth it, actually, because his offhand is non-magical. And magical weapons don't break, so we generally would prefer to have those. Let's see. Is there anything else here that we particularly want? I mean, more shields. Full plate is actually tempting. I don't think I need to buy a suit of full plate, though. I should get enough in the course of the game. These three are actually very good, but I cannot afford them, even though they're getting cheaper because my reputation is getting higher, which is pretty cool. But we have other stuff to buy that are more important. That's more important for the moment. Full plate is really good. I just have plans on, like, I know where I only need 2 more suits of it, and I know where I'm going to get them. So I don't need to spend 7,000 gold on it. The Shadows armor +3 is quite good, but I don't think we'll be using it this playthrough. We might use the Army Scythe. We'll definitely be using the Dagger of Venom. I am building Jahara for daggers. But we can't afford either one. Sadly. Oh well, not the end of the world. Oh, can he? Nope. He can only identify certain things, and I don't remember what. I don't think we need that tainted ore anymore. Oh, that was not. This is Minsk. There we go. Now he's got a +1 mace in his offhand.
You're a queer fellow.
Fine.
Okay. Well.
Fine.
So, have to think about exactly where I want to pick up next time. I sort of, I have a favored level grinding spot that I haven't been to yet. Though in order to go there, I would need to get a scroll first. Because if I went there now, I would die very easily. And it's a little funny, so I kind of want to show off at least some of that. So maybe I will... Maybe when next we convene, I will have like cleared out most of that area, but also show you sort of the tail end of doing that. And then we can go hunt some bandits up at the, up in Peldvale or the Larswood. Chad is asking, Durlag's Tower? No, we are not going into Durlag's Tower yet. Durlag's Tower is very high level. It is very extremely lucrative. Like if we went there now, we would come out decked out in good items and near the end of the game. Decked out in good items and near the level cap, probably. But it would be hard. It would be very hard. And I would rather reserve that for a time that's going to require less reloads and or shenanigans on my part. No, we will be hunting some basilisks. Technically, there's like 1 or 2 basilisks in Durlag's Tower, too. It's not where we're going for them. We're going to a place called Mutimin's Garden. So I won't show you the whole place, because I don't think watching me clear that whole map would be very interesting. Most of the fights are very boring, because if you know how to fight them, basilisks... Or if you are properly prepared to fight them, I should say, basilisks are very easy. But I do want, I want you to see a little bit of just how that is and how much XP they give. But it's probably not worth watching not worth y'all watching me clear the whole area meticulously. And then, like I said, we'll go hunt some bandits and see if we can take out the camp rather, which is kind of an exciting area, but we'll hit that. So yeah, the bandit camp really is a place that has special memories in my heart, in part because it's a lot harder than the Noshkil Mines, which is one of the reasons we're gonna, hit up one of my prime farming spots before we go. So yeah, it's been a pleasure, folks, and I will see you next time. Take care.